bener-bener kayaknya lumayan susah di scene internasional. Dan regenerasi ini yang jadi harapan kita. Makanya kayak kita harus bener-bener full support untuk mereka.
Yes,
Betul.
dan jelasnya pasti akan ada satu tim baru misalnya atau 2 tim baru nanti yang bakal main di M-Series nanti.
Iya, karena langganan M-Series kita kan kayaknya udah nggak muncul ya.
Betul. Nah ini dia untuk TL ID's proses in progress nih. Wow.
Wah ini kalau prosesnya kita ngomongin soal season 13 memang boleh jujur mereka tidak mendapatkan hal yang baik ya untuk di babak play-in. Karena mereka langsung tereliminasi pada saat itu bertemu dengan EVO's Glory 3-0. Dan untuk sekarang pertama kalinya nih untuk tim Liquid ID punya chance juga mendapatkan tiket M6. Ya panjang karir tentunya dari teman-teman tim Liquid ID yang mungkin dulu kan baru sama Godiva. Wah, juara 3 mentok-mentok.
Dan ini bener-bener kayak mereka bener-bener baru ya. Kayak kita tahu lah di regular season, minggu yang pertama, mereka bermain dengan line up yang berbeda dengan yang sekarang. Tapi lihat tuh, Fabian Acu.
Fabian Acu gayanya itu ya, yang khas juga.
Tapi aku ngeliat sosok Fabian ini dari zaman MPL season 6 ya. Kayak progres dia luar biasa sih. Dan bukan cuma sekedar jago mekanik masalahnya, tapi kayak cara persona.
Dia tuh kayak lucu gitu loh. Padahal kalau kita ngomongin MDL ya, dia 3 kali loh gagal masuk playoff di MDL.
Di TL Academy kan.
Di TL
Sebelumnya di Voice juga kan.
Tapi itu kan sebenarnya kayak membuat sedikit keraguan juga ya. Kayak mereka kan belum pernah bermain di panggung yang besar. Tapi semalam mereka sudah menjawab. Kalau mereka berhasil untuk dapetin juga satu tiket untuk bermain di hari ini. Mental yang menjawab segalanya 2-0, 2 sama bisa
sama
dikejar.
jangan lupa juga sih Om, overhype-nya mungkin dikurangin ya. Anak muda, jiwa muda menggebu-gebu nih biasanya.
Betul, tapi aku suka adalah bagaimana mungkin mentalitas mereka ya. Kalau kita bahas secara mentalitas, melihat bagaimana ketika mereka menang pun, mereka kayak terlihat oke gue masih belum perform nih buat hari ini. Harus lebih lagi di hari besok.
Ada state dari RRQ juga yang katanya kemarin menang, cuman masih belum puas karena dia gak bersinar gitu ya, gak perform. Tapi ya itu mentalitas yang bagus banget dan aku ngeliat TLID ini adalah tim yang player-playernya baru, player-player yang muda-muda, tapi nggak takut gitu loh untuk ketemu sama siapapun. Ya dan kalau misalkan berkaca lagi di regular season, salah satu counter dari TLID sebenarnya RRQ Hoshi nih.
Benar, tapi itu kita tahu ya bagaimana pertarungannya juga sangat intens sekali. Nah, melihat bagaimana kecenderungan juga untuk tim Liquid ID yang kemarin mereka bermain dengan fighter, apakah akan di counter juga dengan assassin yang dipakai dengan Sutsuji.
Oke, tapi tahan dulu nih Om. Kalau kita ngomongin soal counter ya, emang pada kenyataannya RRQ ini bisa dibilang ngalahin tim Liquid ID 2 kali. Dan yang terakhir kalinya kita tahu lah bahwa memang ketika tim Liquid ID ini pecah win streak, mereka win streaknya lebih banyak gitu loh. 9 win streak pecah gara-gara RRQ. Jangan-jangan ini malah batu loncatan baru nih untuk win streak lainnya akan dihadapi juga sama tim Liquid ID. Karena di regular season udah terbukti gitu loh, mereka dapetin win streak yang paling banyak bahkan. Tapi ya bisa dibilang untuk keplesetnya baru pas ketemu RRQ aja nih.
Jadi ibarat mereka bakal ketemu dengan salah satu batu sandungan terbesar ya. Kalau bisa dilewatin dengan tim Liquid ID, ini mereka punya chance juga ya, mereka bakal ngelewatin semua mental block mereka.
Nah itu dia.
Mereka bakal punya lebih kepercayaan diri untuk berhadapan lagi kalau memang mereka akan kembali berjumpa.
Betul. Apalagi sekarang mereka harus menghadapi teman-teman dari RRQ Hoshi. Kita tahu juga track record RRQ Hoshi seperti apa. Dari ya kemarin sempat di notice sama Skylar juga ya. Akhirnya setelah 3 season nih bisa kembali dan sekarang juga dalam posisi yang cukup menjanjikan ya untuk RRQ sendiri. Bahkan ya ini dia kita ngeliat finish di posisi ke-6 untuk season 13.
Ini bisa dibilang kayak jadi hasil yang paling terburuk nggak sih kalau boleh jujur ya untuk RRQ sendiri. Karena di season 13 dan bahkan di play-in langsung tereliminasi, itu kayak hal yang sangat-sangat bisa dibilang ganjil lah untuk tim sekelas RRQ. Ya biasanya mereka dapetin upper bracket, walaupun mungkin di 2 season terakhir ya, di season 12 bahkan di season 11, mereka memang dapetin upper bracket tapi langsung pulang juga gitu loh. Jadi placement yang keempat Cuma tidak seburuk di season 13 ketika mereka langsung tereliminasi di play-in.
Tapi berarti satu kata kuncinya sebenarnya sama ya, kan ada up and downs-nya juga untuk RRQ, walaupun sebenarnya secara ekspektasi RRQ ini beyond the expectation gitu dari semua netizen kayaknya. Tapi berarti satu kata kunci yang tadi aku mention tadi adalah regenerasi. Karena semuanya bisa bangkit karena player-player muda yang muncul dan ternyata memberikan impact yang luar biasa.
Oke, ini ngomongin regenerasi.
no choice.
Even
There's no
though
going
it looked
around
like
it.
Skylar made a mistake,
With high loss gone,
here on Chini got
Angela,
punished
because
way
they're worried
more
about
with
the
the
complete
Purify
combination of
usage.
the
Bargain
enemy.
Hunter
Again,
on
very
him is
tailored
the
towards their
hero,
opponent's
plus the
side.
Warriors blessing.
Suyo
For
finally
Witty.
coming in from
The
Six.
choke pick
Nice
for the
ban.
Alpha.
Gonna
Gonna get
ban it
that
out
Mayo
against
over to
Sujin, but the
on
Zeus is
base.
trial.
Who's been
Once
quite ridiculous.
again.
We saw it even yesterday. Ooh,
This
performing
pick
really
will
well up against
give
Bigatron
at
Alpha.
least,
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
Rinse that
by
kind of dominance in the
Hey,
lane.
hey,
Money.
are we gonna see
Gotta explain
a bit of
yourself.
repeat, Gideon? Are we gonna see the
Yeah.
the lead, the
Yeah.
Kacha?
LID.
I mean, Team Liquid ID has seen that
Yeah,
game just
they come
earlier.
off here.
It's
For that
it's
first
possible to
protection
use
tip.
it against RRQ, but they have to remember, Cascute won't sit down and let that happen without any trade back.
That's true. Gaskill likes
Ladies and
the
gentlemen,
Eve as
to
well.
run you once
Well,
again,
here's the difference,
Rinse,
right?
especially
They're
on
trying to
this
build
Sushin, is
software,
a
even
really
if you
prior
have
pick for
focus on your
RRQ, and
side,
so
the
far,
problem is keeping up with the
unfortunately, the
focus.
Sushin
There's a
has
lot
not
of
won.
times that you mark somebody all the way in the
Let's
back and your team can't
Stun,
stun.
stun,
Take him down, right? When you're playing Phobius in the as soon as Phobius makes that one mistake, you're pretty much out of the fight. As long as you can zone multiple people at once, and now with the Eve, even more value is being earned on this.
Oh,
I want to say red side of man. The team looks real
from the
purple.
flanks, will find the crossbow
What
attack.
season is it, man?
Witty.
Back then, the purple meta was a thing for a long time.
Very long
Now, RRQ, with the Eve in the picture, if they were thinking of playing that zoning game, we've seen how devastating the poke can be.
Shield
With
from the
this
Shunpo saves Witty and stopped it for chaining. My goodness, oh, Edok. Goodness gracious. These little things, man.
little wins here that will build up, but it was all the little wins for TLID. That's Turtle and 2 kills over to Aran. So we were talking about how RRQ would want to try to blitz, and TLID reacted to that very, very well. They took their lesson in the regular season, losing to the Alpha and Edith quite well. You know, they adapted. So they sent over the Eve up top to match the Edith, to poke her out, to shove the wave, and then the Phobius into the mid lane, while the Bane, that's the glory of it, right? In the 1v1 against the Alpha, you have an advantage with the deadly catch. You get jumped on, you throw out the Sharks. Sharks go at him.
So a lot of long-range potential from both of these teams, especially the hooks from Edok. Remember, this pick was a nightmare for TLID, especially for this guy right here, the MVP of the regular season. Flavor Fave is looking to get the revenge on the first team roamer of MPL Indonesia. Right now, they're already camping.
Certainly are. You definitely see the prio that they have here everywhere on the map, man. This is what the Eve and the choke gets you. Iron Hook.
That's the Hunter's Wow. Real World Revelation will not save Witty. Deadly catch caught Sujin, and he will fall as well. Yeheskiel with the DPS. That's a 1-for-1. The jungle for the roam. You've mentioned it, Mirko, the Alpha on towards the Eve. We've saw it again and again for Pikachu Alpha versus Geek Fan. But right now, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of the Alpha here up against the Eve. When they picked up the Alpha, I was already kind of like, man, they needed something else to kind of dive into the back. You know, we were expecting Ling maybe to possibly come up as well.
They ban it.
But TLID, well, first phase, right? It was before the ban. TLID are going to go for the turtle.
Does not find the connection with the Earth Shadow Rins. Trying to zone out Fabian. Will this succeed?
TLID is trying to set up a
Zone as well. That's the way of Dragon. Purify popped. Yeheskiel secures it. Another dub for TLID. Oh my goodness, the signature play from Renz going to the back with the ultimate kind of bats them in the back in that situation. Good job from Aran and crew to zone out the rest of the members from RRQ.
Prio that you have in the mid lane is
available.
just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Nolan at least is more punishable compared to Haya.
That's true. And Nolan is also one of the strongest picks of Fabian, and I do think he does stop the Phoveus in its tracks?
Kind of depends. That's why I said it's all about, if he has flicker, he can get to your backline.
But I think he needs to be careful about Edok on the Franco, dude. This guy is able to shut down even Fabian. You have to recall, on the link, this guy was just shut down completely. And look at this, dude. A full-on front to back, all bases covered. RRQ are going to be forced to go for the pickoffs or go for some kind of flank.
Talk to me about the Bane.
Great draft.
Gideon.
This is an amazing draft on so many different levels. So imagine Phoveus jumps into the composition. Oh no, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get hit by the Bloody Hunt. You have the third hit of G couldn't do. You also have the Deadly Catch as well to work with you. And it doesn't matter who gets caught, somebody else can cancel the ability for you. Worse yet, it's really difficult for RRQ to fully commit to a fight.
Wow, a lot of cancellations as well towards that Franco, but that draft is very interesting to see. Look at the Kingdom and the Cavalry. They fill the building in El Dorado Dome, Bandung, but of course we have to throw it away to our casters. So Chefin, Mirko, and Gani, take it away.
The King of Kings versus the Cavalry. The 1 seed versus the 2 seed. A battle for Malaysia. A battle for M6. We're gonna see it in the Land of Dawn. Right now, TLID, they're still seeking their first crown in MPL ID. Will this be the match that take them to the grand finals?
Let's see, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The drafts. I do have a few opinions on it, but gonna take a look at the emblems first. Aaron Shiki this time around against the 1-1 lane. This is a bit of a skill matchup. The Natana against the 1-1. That's why he went for the weakness finder. Not the safer option, the quantum charge usually that we see. But Dyron on the Edith. This is the combo that we like to see from RRQ Hoshi a lot in the regular season. When they get the Alpha and they're up against the Phoveus, they always go for the Edith so that they can get that level 3 priority straight into the Turtle. Sutujin will start it very quickly. Turtle Blitz is an option to go for RRQ.
Once again, we've mentioned it a lot of times before, but right now Skylar already popping up the Fury, the Fire. Now it seems like the pressure will be felt by... Whoa. Popped interesting mechanics there on Shiki.
Yeah, good moves here from RRQ. Even though it looked like Skylar made a mistake, Aaron Shiki got punished way more with the Purify usage. Bargain Hunter on him is the Thrill plus the Wilderness Blessing for Witty. The Cho picked for the Alpha, trying to get that prio over to Fabian on the Bane, who's been quite ridiculous. We saw it even yesterday, performing really well up against Bigatron Alpha.
Oh my goodness, sound prediction by Gopay.
Hey.
Money, you gotta explain yourself, man. I'm alone, it's chill. It's all good in the hood. TLID. Can they pull it off here for that first neutral objective take? Witty jumping it onto his Rin. No level 4 yet for Witty. They will reset. Ladies and gentlemen, to Ranju once again, Rinse, especially on this Sushin, is a really prio pick for RRQ. And so far, unfortunately, the Sushin has not won against Eve. Sushin stunned up, he's taken down. Good setup, TLID takes the mute. TLID move onwards, and they want Edok, and with Aaron Chiki, it's actually extra pressure. Ron pulled back. He needs to go back to Victor does not find her off. But Tyler from the flanks will find the crossbow of Tang. Witty survives, and the Yeskill will take some heat. Real world revelation actually catching, or Skylar caught off guard there. And it will be a reset by both teams. That little shield from the Shunpo saves Witty and stopped it for chaining. My goodness, Edok. Goodness gracious. Just little things, man.
Little wins here that will build up, but it was all the little wins for TLID. That's Turtle and 2 kills over to Aran. So we were talking about how RRQ would want to try to blitz, and TLID reacted to that very, very well. They took their lesson in the regular season, losing to the Alpha and Edith quite well. Really, they adapted. So they sent over the Eve up top to match the Edith, to poke her out, to shove the wave, and then the Phoveus into the mid lane, while the Bane, that's the glory of it, right? In the 1v1 against the Alpha, you have an advantage with the Deadly Catch. You get jumped on, you throw all the Sharks. Sharks go at him.
It's a lot of long-range potential from both of these teams, especially the hooks from Edok. Remember, this pick was a nightmare for TLID, especially for this guy right here, the MVP of the regular season. Flav of Ave is looking to get the revenge on the first team roamer of MPL Indonesia. Right now, they're already camping.
Certainly are. You definitely see the prio that they have here everywhere on the map, man. This is what the Eve and the Cho gets you. Iron Hook.
That's the hunt as well. Real world revelation will not save Witty. Deadly catch caught Sutujin, and he will fall as well. Yehezkiel with the DPS. That's a 1-for-1. The jungle for the roam. You've mentioned it, Mirko, the alpha on towards the Eve. We've saw it again and again for Pikachu Alpha versus Geek Fan. But right now, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of the Alpha here up against the Yi. When he picked up the Alpha, I was already kind of like, man, they needed something else to kind of dive into the back. You know, we were expecting Ling maybe to possibly come up as well.
They ban it.
But TLID, well, first phase, right? It was before the ban. TLID are going to go for the turtle.
Does not find the connection with the Earth Shadow. Rins trying to zone out Fabian. Will this succeed? Now waiting with the zone as well. That's the way of Dragon. Purify popped. Yehezkiel secures it. Another dub for TLID. Oh my goodness, the signature play from Rins going to the back with the ultimate. Kind of bats them in the back in that situation. Good job from Aran and crew to zone out the rest of the members from RRQ.
The prio that you have in the mid lane is just ridiculous on Yi plus Cho plus Concussive Blast. And you can see that Aaron Shiki is also getting the benefits of the mid prio. He's rotating all the time towards these team fights instead of staying in lane. Because, yeah, you do get gold too in another way. You can farm assists, gives you quite a bit of gold. And he hasn't really missed anything. Another pick!
No, Rins out of position. Now with the concealed TLID looking to shift one more gear. It does seem like RRQ, they have stabilized. My goodness, Rins. First team mid laner 2 from RRQ. 0-2-2. You don't want this to turn out to that Yves game, or no, that Luoyu game against Maloyski, man, when he got absolutely demolished.
I just want to say Yehezkiel was my choice. In-game equipment here. Glowing Wand picked up 300 gold lead. It's very small, but it's everyone, right, that has a lead. And what's concerning is, whoa!
Pummel wrap mode here. Sutsujin helping, double teaming Fabian as he will not survive. Perfectly timed, but Yehezkiel finds Dyron. That will be the trade. Don't worry, I'm here, say Yehezkiel.
Well played to Yehezkiel, man. One of the best here in Indonesia. Winning.
Where Dragon finds Edok. The damage not just enough just yet. Ron, Infernal Pursuit pops Flicker from Edok to reposition. Rins though will not be threatened more. And it seems like TLID, they have failed to find a connection in the bottom side. Seems like the Bush owning is going to be very crucial for both of these teams. It really depends on Edok and really, man, the rookies coming in hot. MPL ID reaches season 14, and right now they are the backbone of these teams. Oh, that's a knockup. That's a suppression. Cancelled! Fabian taken down though. That's Aran trying to zone out members with the crossbow attack. Aran taken down. Now Sutsujin caught, trying to find the retribution. The way of
oh my God!
Will zone him out. Now it's a free for all. Will Skylar or Aaron? Who finds the turtle? It will be Aaron, and that will be Aaron finding the kill and the wipeout. The Disciple demolishing, killing the idol in that mid lane right there. TLID right now they're up 2.4k gold lead on a Natan, by the way.
And we got to talk about the Natan, exactly, man. This is a late game threat that's online in the mid game. 7 minutes in, that is a very, very early Sarlium side for him. He's already sitting at 2 items right now, building towards the Holy Crystal. A big power spike about to hit, and he already has 2 kills without it, man. TLID, this is the thing about their composition. The brilliance of their composition is the fact that if you do get rid of the front line, Witty, Fabian, Aran, you have to deal with the next boss, which isn't really going to be easy. Aaron!
Entropy, we have Dragon, Edok will sacrifice his life. Now in the backside, Aran trying to zone out members. Rins pops the Crimson Beacon, and Yehezkiel cancel out the real world manipulation now with the clear. Does seem like TLID still have more all lanes here in the Land of Dawn. They're controlling the game right now. The cavalry is definitely crushing RRQ's chances in mid-game right now. But Mirko, speaking about items just now, Yehezkiel on Ice Queen 1, an item that surprisingly we haven't really seen a lot on this hero that is supposed to slow down a lot of members of the opposing teams.
Yeah, I think it's because Moreno, the last mid laner we saw play the Eve earlier, always went for the Wishing Lantern because he always had a massive gold lead, right? So he wasn't playing for utility. But for Yehezkiel, he's been taking a back foot, I would say. He's been taking a step back here in the regular season of Season 14 and even in the playoffs. He's taken the utility route. All throughout the regular season, even on Vexana, on Aurora, he would always go for Bloodwings first. And this just shows again that he's more of a utility player for the team. He knows he wants to put the proc of the Glowing Wand, now also the Ice Queen Wand, and RRQ will definitely feel it here. They're already quite immobile. Edok, Dyron, Sutsujin, and Rins, the only one being mobile, Skylar. And if he gets slowed, it's also quite tough for the 1-1, right? So TL ID, they got the understanding of the itemization to a T, I would say. And Aaron Chicky, very, very close. He's already sitting on 3 of those wands, man. He's gonna get Holy Crystal anytime now. And that's some pretty fast timers, 9 minutes.
Let's see here, TL ID with the setup. Yes, Kyo will try to oh, that's a hook at the hunt. Ron trying to cancel out now. Let's see. Beal would replace it with the crossbow attack from Skylar. Finds 1, finds 2, and Yeskiel falls. Deadly catch, desperate one. Can Fabian survive? And Aaron Cheeky. Fabian fights for but Sutsujin jumps to his death. TLID recover from that fight.
Huge miss coming in from Sutsujin and Aaron Cheeky and Fabian. The 2 carries from the cavalry just absolutely punishes them. Now they have all the thing in the world. They have the advantage. They have the siege. They want to take this bottom turret, but Aaron Cheeky's already half HP.
Exactly, but it doesn't really matter, right? Because a half HP Natan with entropy will delete anyone.
See entropy.
Oh,
that's a good displacement. Fabian secures the execution, and Edok will fall for 20.
My goodness gracious. Aaron Cheeky 406. You know, they're banning Fabian's heroes in the draft earlier, but look at who is performing right now. Look at who is absolutely dominating the game. Aaron Cheeky.
9 minutes, Chef, and it was for the Holy Crystal. He's on the way to the Divine Glaive at this point. He doesn't even need the Blood Wings. A lot of the Natan players would go Blood Wings in this position. Yeskiel with the Divine Glaive as well. So it's not just Aran and Fabian's damage that you'll have to deal with. That's an endless battle too, by the way. So Fabian, he's building a hybrid build, but it's still going to sting, especially when he gets the bounce on the Crab Claw Cannon. Witty.
They're backing on towards Edok, and he will be deleted. Witty will be the trade belt, but now base turret should be the main target. Lord is still up, and now Dyron flickers out. Aran out of position and punished. Lord taken care of. Aaron Cheeky and friends. They will go back. And that will be TLID losing 2, but taking the base turret.
I will still call that a W, Mirko.
Oh yeah, I have to agree with you, man. Losing Witty and Aran, the 2 members with no bounties, the 2 tank frontliners for the base turret, it's worth it. Unfortunately for TLID, it's not the best trade in the world because it wasn't the far lane, but it's still a good trade, yeah? With the first Lord in the game. Aaron, yeah, they're going to start just funneling into him. He already has the Divine Glaive, by the way. Now he's building towards, I have no idea, probably a Blood Wings. It might be a, yeah, probably a Blood Wings, looking at it.
Entropy popped. Doesn't find the connection just yet. TLID and RRQ, they know they need to wait for the spell's cooldown
Thing is,
to be
Donnie,
active.
what are you waiting for at this point? Because with TLID, I feel like they've kind of already outscaled RRQ, and that's the big problem. RRQ needed to get the early game, but TLID, with the anti-turtle strat, it's always just going to go to them. They have so many displacements, so many CCs that they can just place on RRQ, and if the CC doesn't work, they have poke. The poke damage was ridiculous all the way from the start. Yves and Natan are at their power spikes, and even their frontliners can't get bursted down.
I mean, look at Aran too. He's on a flicker, right? The last occasion where one of the members of TLID gets hooked by Edok, he was there just flickering forward and dealing just a sliver of CC towards Edok as well. It serves as an utility as well. It's not just, you know, you're not just tanking, you're also covering your teammates.
Yeah. And I already mentioned this earlier too in the draft, right? As the Yves gets picked up, it's an amazing pick into the 1-1. So I was expecting maybe a Beatrix to show up here, even though it's also a big problem to be able to go up against the Yves. At least you'll be able to combo in together with Edok much faster. Dyron.
The onward does not land on Aran. Lord will be taken care of by Fabian. Dyron though stuck. No flicker. That might be a mistake there. An overextension. TLID, they punish Dyron.
Man, oh man, this guy has been amazing on Edith over the course of the season. Right now, TLID just making it not useful at all for RRQ. 353 so far from Mr. Tyron. Goodness gracious. The siege potential for this composition too, Mirko. Rudy can just dive in the back. Aaron Cheeky with the damage already. Yeskiel the range. Oh my. What's gonna be the answer here? Is it just the hook from Edok landing towards the perfect target?
Then there's a Purify. Then there's an RWM. There's some anti-CC here for the side of TLID. So even then, that one shot, one hook glory can't really happen unless it's a big mistake from TLID, right? And yeah, don't forget the deadly catch. It's gonna come into Siege too.
Let's see, baser number 2, Flicker, cancelled the way of Dragon. But now Witty will lose his immortality, but take a look at Aerochiki. He's re-hitting like a crazy man. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. Edok will not survive as well. Now the base being very, very much healthy. Skyler, can he survive this one? The answer is no. Ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 5, the Cavalries, they take game 1.
And it was 14 minutes too. We expected a hard-fought game from RRQ, but TLID understands their power, understands what they have in their hand, especially understands the players that they have, and they make use of it in this game number 1. TLID 1 step closer to Malaysia.
1 step closer to Malaysia. Team Liquid. You know, we were talking about this, Gani. I had a feeling game 1 was going to be fast.
Yeah.
After the draft with the 1-1, it's like,
I mean, before even.
Before even the
Pre-draft.
1-1, pre-draft, yeah. But I think the 1-1 pick was a bit too greedy by their end, right? The matchup in the goal lane isn't really a full win against the Natan. The Franco would have done so much better with the Beatrix. It has been finding a lot of success, and it's a signature pick for Skyler. I think with that, though, they will definitely learn a whole lot and bring it to game number 2. But Yves has become job, man. It was a utility Yves that dealt so much damage too. The deadly catch, like you mentioned, Chefin. Unfortunately, when you use a lot of the bloody hunts, a lot of your resources onto the frontliners, yes, you can deal with them. But this is the big problem all the way from the start, all the way from the drafts for TLID. Yes, you can deal with our frontliners, but then what are you going to use for our backliners? What are you going to use when Aaron Shiki entropies forward, when Yehezkiel real-world manipulations, and when Aaron Shiki gets a Holy Crystal at 9, when he gets a Divine Glaive at 10? A 4-item power spike at 10 on Natan is just GG.
Man, with the Disciple showing his idol that he's here to fight. It's right now, it's 1-0, man, and the itemization as well. The Winter Crowns very early in the builds coming in from TLID, knowing that they have to use this active item to be able to fight against this 1-1, against this Franco, against the whole composition of RRQ. I am very interested in what Arashi has to say right now. So, realize, what does he have to say?
The cavalry strikes first. They have one castle wall taken down, and the kingdom, they have to breathe heavily. But still, it's only game number 1. What are your thoughts on that game? Because Chefin was asking, how does Arashi feel? How do you feel, Arashi?
I feel like it's a best of 5, you know. First game sets momentum. It's important. It's unfortunate that RRQ weren't able to come out on top as an RRQ fan. But it is what it is, you know. No one said that against Team Liquid it's going to be an easy game. That's delusional, right? Team Liquid is a real contender. It's going to be a tough match. But I do agree, man. The 1-1, wow. They knew that the EXP lane was going to be tough due to the Phobias, right? Very strong laner. And against the Natan, the 1-1, you know? And again, with the composition, they're going with the Franco for the early game picks, but they're only really relying on the alpha damage to try and help out, which is why you saw that they were able to get the kills, but they always left enough time available for Team Liquid to kind of answer back and get the trade in.
I think another unintended problem that they eventually face is when they scaled so much faster than necessary, and then they're like, wait a minute, they've got all their core items. This is a big issue because we're losing fights. All right, let's buy a little bit of time, right? They continuously go on with the fights, and then the winner crowns hit. As soon as the winner crowns hit, it becomes impossible for this 1-1 to get an effective crossbow of Tang.
And that was a 7 minutes Talium side building into a Holy Crystal. Aaron Shiki just snowballed out of oblivion. He was unstoppable, and the 1-1 pick, it doesn't necessarily do well against the Natan in lane and in the team fights because the Natan can just entropy forward and burst the 1-1 down before she can get the stacks towards the crossbow of Tang. And we talked about this. Maybe the Beatrix would be better, maybe the Frank will be better, but we'll save that for later because now we have to present to you the MVP presented by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. It is Witty. This guy, the storyline is insane. He benches Yaoi, known for that Cho M4 skin, and now he is possibly one of the best roamers we have in Indonesia, and his Cho was spectacular.
His Cho was all right. I'll give it to him. I don't think he really got to show like much of like what he's truly capable of. He did get some priority targets, I will give him that, but that's expected of a Cho player, right? In these highlights, a lot of the time you're seeing that this poor man is getting like dogged on by everyone on RRQ just because he exists, just because he's in that front line. But then you want to recognize that if he lands a good kick on the Sutsujin, everything in these neutral objectives just goes crashing down.
Yeah, that's how the Cho works. Find the prior target, kick him back, and with the damage available to the side of Team Liquid in the early game, in theory, they should be the scaling one, but even from the early levels, from the first turtle fight, you're seeing a decent amount of damage coming out of this composition, partially due to the aggressive roamer. The Cho has decent damage, so a lot of these, you know, non-carry roles from Team Liquid can actually help out in the fights. And because of that, a lot of these fights really look to be so even until the final moment where one single turn of events can really throw everything in favor of Team Liquid. And RRQ, slowly but surely, we're getting all these fights so close, but enough is just never enough in a situation like this.
Yeah, just they couldn't find the finisher, unfortunately. I mean, we already saw the closest fight they had, which is by the Lord Pit, and it was 2v2 at that point after everybody, it was all said and done. But even so, once they had the items, once they had that 10k gold lead against them with missing inhibitors and the Lord pushing, that's the checkmate angle. I don't see any way they botch this up unless they start running into the fountain.
Yeah, and now on Chiki, he just was delivering everything into the very eyes of the kingdom, and of course now back to what we talked about, the Beatrix and Franco. Do you think that would be a better pick instead of the 1-1, or maybe they could have gone like a Claude and then with a +1, maybe with the Ruby?
Well, me and Arashi were discussing this prior to it, right? For me personally, I think that in that very first phase, it's really hard to predict what was the next thing that TL ID wanted to do, because at most you only really saw, oh hey, they have a Yve. All right, sure. Oh, they end up picking up Cho. Oh, wait, hold on. And then the second phase comes by. Phoveus was to be expected, and I think that the main issue, yes, Wanwan, it could have been the Beatrix, it could have been the carry. There's a significant lack of damage coming out from the side of RRQ, and that's why you're seeing them survive with just minimal HP most of the time, and they don't have any access to the backline anyways.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going at with this, because I saw the Alpha come up, and I was certain I saw the Yve come up. Oh, Swistergen's gonna go for an assassin, right? It makes sense. It kind of ruins the front to back, but they didn't go for that, you know. And we've seen that they have it as an option. And to that point, Gideon, I mean, that's really accurate. The EXP lane needs time to do damage. The Edith, more utility in the early game. The Sushin, same idea, same style. And the gold lane, the 1-1 can kind of snowball, but it takes a while, right? And the matchup against the Nathan, again, isn't so favorable to the 1-1 either. So they're essentially playing against 3 losing lanes, with 3 losing lanes. And if you know one thing about Team Liquid ID, it's the fact that they are very, they put a lot of emphasis on winning the laning phase. Sometimes they lose skirmishes, but in the laning phase, you can see that the turrets are falling down, even though they're behind on kills.
It's permanent. I think right now it's just about how do you attain permanent damage against your opponent? How do you create an economy lead that's going to stick around for the next 5 minutes or so? Because I think what we've learned in these past couple of days from not only MPL ID playoffs but even MPL PH games is that the only reason why they are so close to these games are getting closer and closer was how efficient they farmed the gold, not only in the jungle but finding structural damage. Unfortunately for RRQ, even if they did win out in, let's say, maybe 1 or 2 skirmishes, right? I don't see them actually turning it into a conversion into legitimate gold through structural damage. Maybe even getting like an early gank down by bot side against for Skylar. If he's able to get the full plating, it could have been a different story.
Yeah. Now, what are your thoughts on this Bane? Did it make the team fights even harder for RRQ? Was it that much of an impact for Team Liquid ID?
Oh, I think it just made I think it just made RRQ understand that, hey, if you want access to our backline, it's probably not going to happen.
Yep. And honestly, it also gives them a lot of prio in the turtle fights as well. Because Bane damage, right? The longer it goes, the utility, the poke as well. It's just a really good addition there in the jungle for a front-to-back composition, because you can deny the whole dive-in, and you can hit your crab claw cannon on the front lines, and the back line suffers the damage. So it just really fits with the draft for Team Liquid ID. And I'm surprised again that RRQ didn't really find a way to get around the front to back. They just really thought that with the pick of potential, we can snowball far enough that the front to back won't matter.
Yeah.
More so, I feel like, unfortunately for them, as much as they want to like be able to make proactive moves across the map, it comes at quite a cost, right? Because again, if we're talking about relative pushing, the mid lane push was relatively even, especially if it was in a 1v1. But then when you get into the 2v2, it's a lot more favored towards TLID in comparison to RRQ. And it also doesn't help that if you want the EXP involved, you're going to have to set up a proxy. There's just no way of trying to like out-push it while walking away with like at least 50% of your health gone.
And now, of course, Team Liquid ID, they have the advantage onto Team RRQ Hoshi.
Wait,
with that 1-0.
Does that say hashtag MPL dating? Or MPL date?
Well,
That was the thing.
I hate to break it to you, Gideon, but we do have a lot of MPL dates going on in MPL Indonesia.
So, these guys are Surabaya.
Oh,
that's a long
That's a long way from Bandung. But anyways, back to MPL date, right? You would either find your significant other here in the venue, or you go with the significant other to MPL. Then thus you have an MPL date.
Oh.
Do you have that over in MPL MY?
I mean, we don't have a hashtag for it. I mean, we just kind of figure out that they're probably together if they're sitting so close in proximity.
That's true. And now, of course, Team Liquid ID against RRQ. Youthful Blood. You know, it becomes the hope for Team Liquid ID. But we cannot write RRQ off as well. Because RRQ, they also have that youthful blood, that young blood in Rins, in Edok, and maybe also in Sutsujin, because Sutsujin is still relatively young. Now,
Skylar, he's pretty young.
Skylar, yeah, he is very young. Doesn't really feel like he's
Grandpa
been there.
Sutsujin, I see.
Grandpa Sutsujin, wow.
That's what he's saying. He's still relatively young.
Relatively young.
He's old, but not too old.
But yeah, of
I
course,
feel.
I feel like the pure rookies are it's gonna be Rins at Edok because Tyron technically has been in the MPL ID RRQ squad for season 12. How do you differentiate between the young bloods of RRQ and the young bloods of Team Liquid ID?
How many abilities are they landing? Think about it. Think about how many skill shots did Edok land compared to everybody else.
Wow.
Kind of wild, huh?
I mean, how many skill shots did Rins land? Oh wait, no skill shots.
That's
Now, of
too
course,
good.
I want to talk about the audience topic voting. After losing game 1, how can RRQ make a comeback in game number 2? Still, the same questions like we underwent in the previous match. Of course, number 1 is contest early objectives. Number 2, be aware of Vida's initiations. And number 3, ban or pick the Natan. That was my question as well. And now we're circled back because most of the audience think that they have to either ban or pick the Natan. The Natan is a signature hero for Skylar as well. Do you think RRQ has to contest this?
Ooh, I will say the audience is pretty smart. The audience is pretty smart on picking up on this one. I don't think contest early objectives is relevant. It's very much dependent on the composition. I think the Natan in some form of scaling would have been nice for Skylar in that case. They're not entirely wrong, but it doesn't directly address the problem, which is, hey, the draft. Like, give RRQ a decent draft, and let's see where they go from there.
I do want to. I'm thinking of like the execution could have really saved that draft because again they were just going at it again and again in the skirmishes in the early game, and sometimes we've seen RRQ kind of fall behind and go for some trades. But at the same time, again, you're up against a scaling composition. I feel like it will only delay the inevitable. And they might find themselves kind of stuck with the same situation that Onyx found themselves against GeekFam, right? Oh man, well, we made it all the way here, but now this base is just rock solid.
It's tough. It's tough. High ground defense is always going to be like an issue when you're thinking about like Yve. It feels really, really bad like pushing into a Yve, especially when you're going for inhibitors. But even so, at least TLID is going to be taking second pick selection.
Second pick.
Yeah. So going for the 2-pick combo. Now the first pick for the side of RRQ needs to be that much more important. Now that Sushin first pick, I feel like Rins does his best work when he's on the high ground mages, the long range mages. Again, I keep repeating that his Yve is actually in a very good win rate. I believe it's still at 100, if I'm not mistaken here, if I'm being too overconfident. But again, he was actually doing some pretty creative things on that Sushin, right? Almost going for a bit of a flank even, trying to ruin the composition from the front to back. But I really felt like, again, it looks really bad for him in that game, but he was in that unfavorable 1v2. And even when he was left alone, the ganks from the jungle kept coming. So he was kind of forced to stay passive in the lane, in that mid lane, where a lot of teams now are finding it, a vulnerable target that they can kind of abuse in the early game to try and snowball.
Yeah, I think that right now, people need to understand that Jushin, as much as she is so good at getting first pick, this is only because she is pretty good against certain meta heroes, right?
Yep.
And I think right now, it always comes back to Suyo. Whether or not he gets banned or not, if somebody takes Suyo, you pray to God that you get access to Jushin.
Yeah, and I feel like Zusin, yeah, true, what Gideon really says, it's very good against specific, patch hero, meta heroes. But does this mean that the Zusin doesn't get that much prio anymore, the drafting phase?
I feel with the existence of the Eve, perhaps.
Ban the Eve then.
Exactly, we've seen some teams do that, right? They go for the Jushin first pick because they ban away the Eve. So that could still be an option, for sure. But knowing Coach Keskewed, usually he's satisfied making some very minimal changes to his composition. So we'll have to see. So far, the Fanny Angela, I feel like it's still the same from game number 1.
Yeah. Fanny Angela, day number 1. I mean... against Fabian, like Mr. Fabian, he's got to chill. He's got to chill on these assassins, man. It's too much of a problem. I'm genuinely worried about it if they do make it an M6.
By the way, one of the critics that most of the people that are watching RRQ landed towards Keskewed is that he has this kind of like habituation into just letting go one of the strongest picks of his opponents. Do you think that is the case?
Not necessarily. I think that he understands that rather than giving all of the power picks, I would rather you guarantee one power pick and then we look to counter it. I think, if he's really on a bad day and gives 3 power picks and all losing lanes, then I think people have a valid argument. But true, it's important to be able to deal with these power picks because that's what you're expected to see during M6.
And with the pick and dance, right? Sometimes you're just forced to let go of some of these picks.
Yes.
And I feel like technically the way he goes, which is why I call him Trickster, I've seen it before, but sometimes he knows that there are some really signature picks for his opponent. He knows they're gonna pick it, so he lets it open, and then he finds ways to counter it in the execution. But so far, oh boy, the Cho even rushed over to the first pick.
Still the same, Zusin first pick again for Rins and for RRQ, and the Natan and the Cho. What do you think of this going on into the second phase sooner?
Pretty standard, pretty much almost exactly the same. The only difference is that Fovia's getting banned out this time around. Suyola's still basically gone, and it changes the first 2 picks for the side of TLID. Big deal here. This is the important part. This is where we saw that for the beginning of potentially the end of RRQ in game number 1.
Well, now if RRQ go for an assassin to try to deny the Yve isn't in the picture. But, whoa, that's the Irithel ban away in the second phase for Team Liquid. A weird change, a shift in the meta, but looking at RRQ, it's all about speed, man. Look at that. The Sushin, the Irithel, and the Khalid all moving rapidly around the map. So maybe that's just how they're gonna try and mitigate the impact of the Cho in the early game.
But the question is, this Irithel is not equipped with a Mathilda. Do you think it'll still be effective to dodge the pressure from the Cho? And does it win lane, or rather survive against an Natan?
Does it win against the Natan? Not at level... well, actually, wait.
You can kind of bully in the early game for a bit, I would say.
It depends. It's like, because it's a skill shot matchup, right? Like Irithel, it's a lot easier to get Irithel's damage out on Natan, but Natan needs to land skill 1. If he misses skill 1, instantly he's done. He just has to walk away.
And the Hilda ban, or rather Hilda pick, taken away, or rather picked by Team Liquid ID. They picked this against Bigatron Alpha yesterday, in fact, and it was picked by Iran, put in the XP, potentially to counter the assassins. But in this scenario, what does it want to achieve?
Most definitely it's trying to deter an assassin. If right here, Team Liquid ID go for the Yve, right, and still want to play this super high ground, super front to back, now they have a strong front line, and they have a chance to, if Suzuki goes for an assassin, they have this Aran to just throw at him every single time. We saw what they were able to do against, I forgot which team, but every single time the neutral objective is up, Aran runs through the whole team looking for the Hayabusa, I believe.
Yeah, that was against Bigatron Alpha.
Against Bigatron, yes, kept bonking on Super Can. They can do the exact same thing right here if Susujin goes for a assassin jungler. So they're trying to deter that. So I don't know if the Yve is going to be respected here somehow.
Hayabusa ban out, no? They don't want to play assassins themselves?
I mean, there's also the Bane ban here coming in from side of TLID. Huh.
Interesting.
Where is this going to lead to? I mean, if they're going to keep going down this direction, I'm expecting Ling to get banned out here. Or basically they're playing a game of chicken and like, oh, who's going to ban the Yi first? Or who's going to show the Ling ban first?
And the Alpha is still open as well.
Well, again, but the Alpha against a front to back, kind of dangerous. But now without the Bane, right? I feel like Team Liquid ID are trying to force RRQ into an assassin, or someone has to dive forward. Because with the Bane, you can play a front to back and do damage, right? So they banned that out. Now they banned the Nolan, they can maybe dive in the backline too. So if they're forcing RRQ to go back on the Alpha, it's looking like a similar situation to game number 1 with only a very slight difference.
I guess, because right now, the fact that they banned out the Nolan, the fact that they banned out the Bane, Hayabusa's already gone. It's a little awkward for RRQ, because if they decide to ban out the final assassin, which is Ling, that means Alpha falls into the hand of TLID, and then they have got to get real creative with their jungle options. So they ban out the Alpha, leave Ling open.
Will they take it?
I don't... Ooh.
Does it work well though against a Khalid and a Zeusson maybe that can kind of lock down the Ling as well?
A little bit. Oh man, this is kind of rough.
Yeah, I don't see Team Liquid ID going for an assassin.
At most Julian.
At most Julian, exactly. I feel like it's something that can just provide more crowd control and burst, and they're gonna play the same way, right? Just counter engage from all the aggression of RRQ. Oh, it is gonna be a Ling. Wow. Avian proving me wrong.
God,
if this Ling is picked, does it really need an Angela with it alongside it?
I mean, it's banned, so it's not like he has much of a choice.
Oh, that's true. The Angela is banned.
But this mid lane, they could have. Yeah, never mind. This is Fabio just saying, hey, I'm confident on this lane. Give it to me. We're going to get a mid laner at the end of the day. They've already locked in the Jushin. It's not like they're gonna go Eve plus Jushin.
Yeah, I mean Fabian was able to show his prowess with the leg, going up against Super Ken, predominantly using X-Borg, a stronger hero in the objective takes.
Oh,
still able to win it out, and they picked the CC. Is that to win the lane against the Hilda?
Most likely to ensure that the Hilda can't really move around unchecked. 1v1, the CC is going to really be a big menace towards the Hilda. But I don't see a lot of ways for RRQ to deal with the Ling, by the way. The Sushin is more targeted, but for the most part, this is going to be Skylar just kiting on his own.
Yeah, let's not forget that the Cho could easily be flexed, right? So I think at this point, up against the CC, you might as well just play Cho into that lane and then send Hilda running at your opponent.
Interesting last pick here. Looking for a mid laner. Yehezkiel. Still waiting to pick it. Vexana.
Vexana or Aurora would be really terrible for RRQ, because if they want to move forward as a unit, it's going to split them apart or force them to walk into it. But no, it's still going to be the Eve. It's just that good.
I think Eve is the most balanced in this particular situation, because as much as you want to play Aurora to stun up that front line, there's a very good chance that if you get flanked, there's not much you can really do about this. At least with the Eve, you can start peeling back and kind of opening up these bushes consecutively, and then when it's time to kill, drop the ult.
Talking about the draft now, is it going to be a 2-0 or a 1-1? Arashi and Gideon?
Oh, man.
I think it's a 50-50 on this one. I think both drafts are pretty good. They've got into really good win conditions on their side. I do think that RRQ can definitely work on their early game here against TLID, and that would be the true test for me. If they can make it through this early game, I think they can do it.
Rashi?
Same thing. I think RRQ has very specific win conditions, but if they can actually pull it off, I feel like this is a very winnable game. It's no longer looking as one-sided as it was in game number 1.
Ah, here we go. The Kingdom are up on their feet as they look to again rebuild the foundations. But of course, to the casters we go. Gani, Sheffin, and Mirko. Time is yours.
Rex Regum Kion looking to equalize the score. It's 1-0 for Cavalry so far, but it does not end in one game. It's a best of 5. RRQ versus TLID, round number 2.
Will TLID silence the crowd, or will RRQ equalize? Let's witness and find out.
It's the Usurper, Flava Fave on the Ling, man. One of his signature picks in the regular season. He was able to use this Ling to beat Bigatron Alpha just yesterday as well in the 3-2 full best of 5 game. So up against RRQ, against the Irithel. I mean, to be fair, with RRQ's bans on the Alpha and the Bane, it just seems like they wanted it. You know, it just seemed like they really wanted the Ling to deal with the Yi that was coming. We knew it was coming for TLID, but they picked the Hilda to try to deny some of the assassins from the side of RRQ. Aaron, though,
The Purifying, this might be first blood for the Kings of Kings. They'll return the favor, and now it's gonna be Fabian looking for blood. Tempest Blade pop early. Rins with the Flicker actually is able to get away.
flashy moves from Fabian, but it is still a W nonetheless for RRQ. It's a first blood. More gold for you.
I actually don't think it's a dub.
Oh, very low, very close. Edok pops the flicker. Sutsujin doesn't find the connection.
Yeah, to complete my sentence, I don't think it's a dub. Aaron Shiki, he has the cannon minion saved up by the rest of TL ID earlier. Now it would be a dub if they get a kill, but unfortunately not. Aaron will be able to soak in more gold there compared to Skylar.
It's gonna be Ron here, giving pressure on towards Rins. No spell, but now it's gonna be the backup coming in. Sutsujin finds this kill, and now it's gonna be Turtle. Their main agenda. Can TLID recover? It doesn't seem like so, unless it's a drive-by retribution by Fabian. Hook, line, and sinker. Now Fabian is forced to play with limited options. Let's see, jumps in on towards Rins. No spell whatsoever. He will fall.
No way.
That's gonna be this. Turtle taken by Fabian. No, Sutsujin. And it's gonna be Edok actually finding the kill on towards Fabian. It's different this time. Oh, really? Oh, caught slipping there by Tyrant, but no conversion just yet. But yeah, it's different this time. And oh, Edok once again. They're not letting this man recall. Oh, the Khalid roam, man. The Khalid roam doing work. In the bottom side, it's going to be Aaron Shiki pushed on towards the turret. Sutsujin. Oh, man. Will he able to find the kill? Oh, no. My goodness. Aaron Shiki goes down the second time in this game. Which is the dog. What the dog doing?
What the dog doing? I don't know what the dog doing, man. Aaron Shiki tried to purify. I guess he was expecting a chain to come through. And man, for TLID now is looking real tough because Aaron Shiki has been bullied so hard in the gold lane. Aran actually unable to try to translate anything over. We have MPL ID X-Streamer right here, Mr. Shafine.
Mr. Eric Colim, a familiar face. We haven't seen this guy for a long time, at least for me, all right? No shade to this guy, but let's back to the game. Fabian, man, it's usually always with the Matilda, it's always with the Link, it's always with the Angela, but this time around, there's no healing, there's no shield that can help Flavor Fave to actually make a play. Would you think this is gonna be very crucial? But no, oh man, I cannot finish my sentence. Shampoo flicker spent, Aaron Shiki target. Now it's gonna be the Tempest the Blade. The stun, Fabian walks away, but Ren's pressuring. Oh! Lantern Flare doesn't find the execution. TLID survived that fight. That little immobilized Mirko.
Both of them survived the skirmish, man. That was ridiculous stuff from both of these teams. Still able to keep themselves alive in the skirmish, but we have the audience prediction before we get into some analysis.
Wow. Are we surprised?
No, not really. This is El Dorado Dome feels like, you know, it's home turf for RRQ. Every MPL ID just feels like it's always home turf for RRQ.
You're right.
Turtle #2 spawn in the game.
Oh, wait. Dragon finds Edok and he should fall. That will be Yeheskiel with the assist. Rondo will not be able to find the vision here. Proper vision to give pressure towards Sutsujin. That's a second neutral. Falls for the Kings of Kings. Skylar pressured with the sprint as well. He's able to juke around. Answer Run and Witty will pay the price. It's going to be Fabian trying to find the kill. Wow. He will. That was the 1-for-1 in the backside. The burst damage from Sutsujin is more than enough. Oh, that's the shutdown as well for Aaron Shiki. It's not over, Ritz. Whoa. Good read. Ron now providing cover, but Edok finishes the job. Ron giving pressure, dealing damage, but Aaron Shiki doesn't find the connection. Entropy looking for the kill. Purify to save the day. He will find the connection. Way of Dragon to save Aaron Shiki's life. Skylar jumps in, no sprint though. Edok, quicksand guard. Get back. HP, and now it's going to be TLID perhaps looking for more. Both teams just going at it. It does not stop. It never stops. I could never finish my sentence on anything, man. This is absolutely crazy. So far, 14 kills in 6 minutes.
Hey, I can relate, Sheffin. I haven't been able to analyze anything, and honestly, what is there to analyze? TLID and RRQ just brute forced that skirmish. It was a battle of mechanics, and it does seem like TLID found their way back on top in the skirmish because they were able to get a better trade. Witty.
Saying it's going to be the way of Dragon on towards Edok. The damage will come through, and Yeheskiel secures it. Now RRQ, they need some sort of compensation, and Sutsujin is in position. But TLID, good stabilization here from that kill. Where's the consensus on Weedy, man? As we're going to take a look at the replay, gotta be by Samsung Galaxy FE. The fighting for FE, look at this. Weedy, Dyron, Ron, and Aaron Shiki. Everyone is just brawling.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Bit of an
Punish
overchase, for sure.
towards Aaron Shiki as well. Double kill. The worst person to give the kill to. Remember, this Natan has been a lethal weapon, to say the least.
Woody, we're dragging on towards Rins. The connection is there, but the damage will come through. Aaron Shiki entropy. And that's the real world of motivation. Formation break. Sutsujin will finish the job. Aaron Shiki survives with the space. Ron collects the double, but Edok, he wants blood. And he will find and deliver the shutdown. Fabian finds another in the bottom side, and this is TLID just controlling every fight, controlling every wave very, very meticulously.
Just micros all over the place for TLID. They're just pouncing on the King of Kings, and now the objective battle, round number 3. Can Fabian actually take this one?
Let's see. TLID, 80% control of that turtle Edok. No Raging Sandstorm, so no points in finding the gamble play.
So let's slow it down, man. Let's slow it way down, right? So TLID, finally they get a turtle under their belt. And for TLID, now oh, never mind.
Oh my god. We have Dragon, Purify Pox, Entropy. Tyron, triple threat, baby. He's buying time. He survives. Real world population invested. And he survives. Surely no. Witty is there in the bottom side. Ron pays the price. That's Fabian, Fave with the Tempest of Blade. Looking for more. He finds one. Edok and Rins double teaming him, but he survives.
Gunny, I feel like right now, you speak, just speak!
Now it's gonna be Sutsujin, but yeah, I don't think so, mate. The damage is there, Witty. No Shunpu just yet. Way of Dragon Flicker
no.
Is there good read by Aaron Shiki, and Witty
Wait a minute.
survives. What the heck?
Wait a minute.
Wait, he's going for the turret.
Can he actually get away?
Looks like he won't be able to.
The dog once again. Dealing the final blow on towards one of TLID members, and right now they're up a 1.4k gold lead. Oh man, you gotta find some time to breathe, and I think it's right now, Mirko. You have to talk about wait. I think you're safe. Just talk about it.
All right, we gotta give a few seconds. Okay, we have time. Finally, Berserker's Fury, Hazclaws already on the way to the endless battle. It's a big power spike. It's a Holy Crystal build on the way to, and Natan, wow. Despite the fact that it's been very chaotic, this is pretty much the same timer. 9 minutes into Holy Crystal it should be for TLID and Fabian, man on the Ling. You can see how busy he stays. Sutsujin really won't be able to stop this take. I think the Kanamini will get it, yes. And TLID will build a 2,000 gold lead, man. Here, it gets real scary for RRQ because in these brawls they've been losing. Witty, Conceal. No, baits up the Crimson Beacon though.
Yeah. That's value, especially as never mind, they actually just forced it right away. I thought they were gonna wait for the minions, but no. Fabian and Aaron Shiki knows the limit.
And if we're talking about RRQ Hoshi, the keys to victory in the regular season, how do you beat RRQ Hoshi, who are just so textbook, who are so good at playing the discipline game? It's chaos, they're doing it now!
We're Dragon, Khalid, no chance. He will fall first, 5 feet forward, that's a knock-up, 2 man as well. Witty receiving a lot of heat, and he will survive with the Jet Kundo. Fabian finds the Lord, Fabian now focusing on bodies. He finds one, Sutsujin might be next. He wants to do good one, but Fabian finds the right targeting, and that's the triple. Fabian, Fave, can you stop this guy? Now in the bottom side is actually Darren isolated, and he will not be able to as Fabian finds the Maniac.
First team, MPL Indonesia, baby! Regular season MVP, baby! Fabian just takes the cake away from RRQ. Look at this, man. RRQ, I feel like they're just playing a keeping up game against the rotation coming in from TLID's members.
If you had any question as to why we gave him the moniker, the Usurper, now you get to see it! Trying to take that crown away from the Kings of Kings. A crown that was most likely theirs. Most of the predictions went their favor. Witty!
Flicker way of the Dragon finds Edok, and he will be deleted. Oh my goodness, Fabian, stop! That will be the shutdown. Byron finds it, and TLID, they have to shift and decrease their gear.
Is that Ranger Amos
Really
on RRQ's fan section with feel as well? Wait.
That's crazy.
Finally showing his real colors, man. His true colors. But let's take a look at the item builds. It's a BOD on the way there. Holy Crystal already done for the side of Aaron Shiki. I'm not too sure if he actually wants to go for the Divine Glaive right here, but Honestly, I would think maybe the Bloodwings would serve them a bit better in a very chaotic skirmish, because damage-wise, you should be able to already burst down some of these members. There's only one Radiant Armor on the side of RRQ. He's going to be a bit late to that item, magic defense item. So, yeah, for TL ID, I think the safer bet for Aaron Chiki should be the Bloodwings. Also, for RRQ, they're going to really struggle in these chaotic duels, man, up against TL ID. The thing is, we were questioning the Hilda pick, remember, Gani?
Yeah.
In the draft. Why Hilda so early? It almost seems like St. Lucas saw what and no one could see. He saw that the game would be chaotic, and in a chaotic game, yeah, Hilda does amazing. When you are isolated, when your assassin needs to 1v1 this... I don't want to call her a hero, because this is a... I don't like Hilda. Let's call her a character or something, all right? I don't want to call her a hero. But yeah, Hilda, ridiculous. Revitalize, go in bush, go out bush, regen constantly. And you can see the AI prediction because it's been so chaotic, and because honestly, when it comes to scaling, it really should be on TL ID's side with Aaron, Natan, with Ling and Yves. AI prediction presented by Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. It favors TL ID. And on top of that, really for RRQ, there's no one to match the side lane pressure of TL ID. And a big reason as to why, usually when you see CC, it should be the one going up against the Ling in the side lane. This is a Ling, this is a CC purified though, so it's going to be different. And it's also a CC that is so far behind. So going up against the Ling, Fabian, now with a BOD, the man does not care. The man, I was saying Bloodwings, nah. Aaron Shiki is a certified Chad for going for Divine Glaive. Oh, you has skill too, there you go!
Space, Fabian spotted. This is gonna be the first Lord, the first enhanced Lord, mind you. RRQ, do you think they have chances to take over the Lord? Oh, whoa. Hey, that's a stun. Yaskill, the real world revolution early figures out! Taken down. It's gonna be Skylar being the main target! But it's gonna be Sutsujin taken down. Skylar finds members, but it's gonna be Fabian at the bottom side. RRQ, they can't go home. TLID, they're on a manhunt. Skylar finds the mid, but Fabian is on the main base. RRQ, can they defend? Can they clear? It looks like the answer is yes. Whoa! For now, Tempest the Blade committed, and TLID, it's another wipeout. My goodness gracious, what are we seeing right now? Again, TLID in under 14 minutes takes down the King of Kings. They are one step away, one game of Mobile Legends away from Malaysia, from representing Indonesia in M6. This new young bloods of MPL ID took over Indonesia. What just happened?
What happened is everything we've been talking about before the playoffs. For RRQ, the main criticism sent their way, Chaos. What do you do against Chaos? Against Alter Ego, they lost. Against Evos, they lost. They took a few losses in the regular season despite being #1. And those losses, there was a pattern in those losses. Whoever was able to bring the fight to RRQ to make it messy, to go in randomly against a textbook team, a very disciplined team in RRQ, they end up doing really well. And who better to take Chaos than TLID? This team is literally, they're the cavalry. They will charge through whatever formation you have. It's literally like a war strategy, right? When you have infantrymen, when you have lined up everything, discipline, you crash it down with the cavalry, man. Charge through, break that formation.
This team is definitely addicted to the rush.
Oh man, they are.
Gameplay-wise, rush is their identity.
And speaking about rush, I wonder how Arashi is feeling up there. I wonder, man, because you asked him, Shepin 1-0, now it's 2-0.
Man, and it certainly is a healthy addiction for TLID as they're absolutely insane, man. Fabian, I'm gonna offer you my humblest apology. I was calling you, I was questioning this playing that doesn't have an Angela, doesn't have the Matilda, the healers. No, it don't matter. It is Flavor Faith. And the game highlight presented by Aplikasi Baru GoPay maximize the initiations of the way of Weedy, leading TLID to match point. And by the way, the Cho of this guy, is this Keyboy level? Is this Yahweh
Reminds
level?
Reminds me of.
Man, Edok is always on the other end.
There's only one guy that can answer that, and it's the #1 TL Glazer in the world. That's Mr. Kidian G.
Oh, we're gonna just throw it over to Kidian G.
been a very bad day for Arashi. His IEMs are running out of battery. RRQ is down 2-0. And he was constantly talking about
exposing us.
Is this what Mirko feels when Bigatron is playing because they're losing? But hey, Team Liquid ID, they dominate that game with potentially 2 scaling, heroes that really need the late game.
Yeah. 3 scaling heroes technically, right?
Yeah, the E.
I think initially the RRQ were doing pretty okay. They were able to actually get some of the advantages. They were able to negate the Cho early game impact using the Khalid roam, which I thought was quite intelligent. But afterwards, I really felt like that one play on the bottom lane, right when they were trying to dive, and then like they lost a couple of members, and then with all that effort, Team Liquid ID lost 0 members. I feel like that kind of threw them off completely, man. And it shows again that the team fighting of Team Liquid has always been like, we've always hyped it up, and it's really that good.
It's great. They really know how to punish you on these types of mistakes, especially when you're like knocked off balance, your ankles break for turning too hard. I think that unfortunately for RRQ, that there was a bit of a mental boom because they were just never the same after that moment. After that attempted dive on bot side. And honestly, if they were successful, I think the game was basically over for TLID at that point. Because that means all tier 2s are basically theirs. Purple buff jungle had no access for Ling. You've basically neutered half of their comp.
And it really feels like when in the mid to late game, there were so many different like chaotic fights, and this might be exactly what Mirko was talking about. Make things chaotic, make sure that RRQ have no grasp on what exactly is going on, and you saw missed targeting and missed moments there all across the board for RRQ.
And of course, the MVP of that game, the player of the game presented by the official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. How does he get away with this, picking Ling into such an unfavorable position, an unfavorable composition as well, and he goes 12-3, becoming the foundation of Team Liquid ID to win that game? That is insanity.
Well, I think a lot of it just comes down to the fact that he is, well, there's a certain point where Ling turns from Reaper to Initiator, right? There's a very big difference. So the early mid stages, he's looking to pick up as many advantages as he can from low targets, and I think he found a good number of them, but at the same time, just keeping a high GPM overall. I mean, he's already at 879 as his average GPM for this game alone. So in these highlights, just pay attention to what he's doing, right? I mean, early game, not that big of a deal, big mistakes, but the turnaround is important. Because once you get Fabian, especially when he has his ult-bladed Tempest available, that's when he can really start to overextend and search for these picks as much as possible. Generally, as the game continues to evolve further and further, that's when you start to see, right? Idok, he's trying to make sure that he's protecting the bottom side of his map to make sure that Skylar can actually scale, but that's pulling away from how effective Sutsujin needs a setup. Even soft CC would have been fine.
For the first time in MPL ID Season 14.
Wow.
But of course, we want to take a break for a little while as we throw it over to Budik Laramongsar and Alyssa up on stage.
Suaranya! Barudak!
Oh, memang ya kompak banget nih barudak kita. Dan memang melihat pertarungan di Best of 5 Series ini, 2 game telah kita lihat, namun memang hasilnya ini lagi 2-0 nih.
Betul sekali, ini cukup menegangkan ya karena 1 poin saja artinya tim Liquid Indonesia bisa mengamankan tiket ke M6 World Championship.
Begitu mendebarkan pastinya, tapi mengingat ini adalah Best of 5, jadi kita masih nggak akan tahu apa yang terjadi di game 3, 4, ataupun 5.
Betul sekali, masih bisa ada perubahan poin dan sangat mungkin untuk RRQ Hoshi bisa mengejar dan mengamankan tiket ke M6 World Championship.
Yes, dan melihat ketegangan, tapi kita mau nambah-nambahin nih biar makin tegang semuanya.
Oke, bukannya bikin relax ya Bude ya?
Nggak boleh. Kita nggak boleh relax karena semuanya harus bersiap-siap untuk bermain bersama kita semua di Franco Hide and Seek. Ini akan menjadi permainan di mana ada satu perwakilan dari semua super fans yang akan bermain, mewakilkan kalian semua berusaha untuk bisa mendapatkan redeem code.
Betul sekali Bude, karena di balik redemption code tersebut akan ada skin gratis
yang bisa didapatkan oleh teman-teman yang berkesempatan mendapatkan skin gratis tersebut.
Asik. Jadi kita akan langsung saja panggilkan satu wakil dari para super fans untuk hadir ke sini, mewakili kalian semua. Kita doakan ya, win rate-nya lebih tinggi dari yang kemarin. Oke, inilah dia. Halo, AA.
Halo Bude.
Asik. AA, namanya siapa?
Perkenalkan, nama saya Zulfa.
Zulfa, asalnya mana?
Saya asli Bandung.
Asli Barudakwel ya. Oke, Zulfa, kalau kemarin kita sudah melihat yang main Franco Hide and Seek win rate-nya 40%, betul Bude?
47.
Kalau kamu sendiri gimana, win rate-nya berapa sih?
Untuk saya win rate itu di 57,8.
57,8 Bude.
Nggak apa-apa, naik 10%, nggak apa-apa ya. Tenang ya super fans ya, nanti dibantu ya, dibantu. Nggak apa-apa, tapi siap nggak sih untuk mewakili semua yang hadir di sini untuk bisa ngedapetin redeem code? Ini semua bergantung padamu loh.
Siap Bude.
Pressure nggak?
Tidak.
Mental kuat ya?
Kuat atau?
PD bakal dapat?
Pede.
PD di percobaan pertama bakal langsung ngehook?
Insya Allah.
Insya Allah.
Nah, kita langsung panggilkan nih penantangnya. Inilah dia, tim yang sudah dipersiapkan. 3 orang yang akan bersembunyi. Langsung saja, tim bersembunyi, tim hide. Waduh, sudah pada berkumpul di sini.
Betul sekali, kita lihat ya. Ini dari trio apa nih, boleh salah satu?
Trio kacau.
Trio kacau? Kacau apa ini singkatannya?
Kacau aja.
Kacau aja.
Untung bukan kacau balau ya. Oke, trio kacau. Siap untuk bersembunyi? Ada mungkin yang udah dipersiapkan nggak sih untuk bersembunyi? Mungkin udah janjian, kita sembunyi di sini ya.
Gak ada sih Bude. Out of the box aja udah ngumpetnya.
Waduh, out of the box. Jangan sampai ke map roll ya. Oke. Dan kita akan menjelaskan juga untuk cara bermainnya buat yang mungkin kemarin nggak tahu caranya gimana sih Alisa?
Gampang banget karena caranya Franco Hide and Seek ini pastinya akan diikuti oleh 1 penonton dan 3 kru. Dan pastinya bisa langsung mencari di area yang tersembunyi di sekitar Baca. Nah, pastinya dari penonton nanti bisa mengetahui nih di mana sebenarnya letak mereka bersembunyi.
Kasih tahu ya.
Tapi khusus untuk kamu tidak boleh menengok ya. Jadi hanya dengarkan insting dan juga arahan dari penonton. Jadi penonton mohon dibantu ya.
Oke. Siap untuk bermain?
Siap Bude.
Ayo kita countdown dong. Pakai bahasa Sunda coba. 5, 4, 3.
Jawa dong.
Ayo.
Hiji.
Hiji lo.
Tilu.
Salah.
Tilu, 4.
Oke, kita countdown bareng-bareng yuk. Kayaknya KW ini AA-nya. Ayo, dari Tilu.
Tilu,
2. Hiji. Let's go.
Oke, dilihat ya penonton ya. Kita akan nanti bantu.
Oke, kita akan saksikan bersama-sama nih. Yang di dalam Eldorado Dome Bandung pasti lagi harap-harap cemas juga. Kalau kemarin tuh rame banget audiens dengan menggunakan Franco-nya. Namun ini ada Matilda, Benedetta, dan Cloud. Sudah dipilih oleh tim MPL. Waktu bersembunyi kita berikan. Silakan bersembunyi kalau udah bilang ya. Karena abis itu diem, jangan gerak-gerak. Tim MPL saatnya bersembunyi. Ingat tadi posisi yang sudah diperbolehkan hanya di sekitar turtle pit saja.
Oke. Dan ini Bude, kita berikan kesempatan berapa kali nih Bude untuk ngehook?
Kita kasih 3 kali kesempatan dan sekarang dapat 1 aja redeem code akan langsung dibagikan.
Yes, jadi kalau sekali aja langsung berhasil ngehook.
Siap, jadi Franco silahkan AA cari nih.
Yes, oke. Penonton boleh dibantu ya di mana ya?
Oke, lurus. Jangan masuk bus ya, nggak boleh masuk bus. Waduh.
Enggak
Gimana
kedengeran
nih?
ya, iya.
Ini baru 1 kesempatan udah dapat. Coba, masih ada 3 kesempatan kan sebenarnya. Pakai semua, siapa tahu dapat 3-3-nya.
Betul.
Makin banyak. santai. Tapi gimana tadi ngedapetin yang pertama? Ada triknya kan? Waduh. Nggak apa-apa, satu lagi. Ayo, kejar.
Kemana penonton?
Ayo.
Cooldown.
Grogi itu Bude, di sebelah Bude.
Iya, sini.
Kemana?
Iya, situ kah? Lo jangan masuk. Gak apa-apa. Tapi dari 3 hook dia ngedapetin 1 loh.
Di percobaan pertama loh, langsung dapat 1. Kita mau kasih kesempatan lagi apa gimana nih Bude?
Udah dapat 1, kita sudah kasih. Tadi kan Bude udah bilang, 1 saja cukup.
Oke, boleh kita kasih tepuk tangan karena kita sudah berhasil ya. Dan kita akan membagikan redemption code-nya nih Bude.
Siapkan device kalian untuk mengisi redeem code yang sesaat lagi. Akan Bude bagikan karena kita sudah berhasil. Sampaikan sesuatu dong karena keberhasilanmu. First try lo sebenarnya. Ada tipsnya kah?
Enggak sih, feeling aja.
Waduh, feeling. Apakah melihat permainan player siapa mungkin gitu? Banyak-banyak belajar dari player?
Enggak sih, Bude, mandiri.
Oh, mandiri. Oke, mungkin player idolanya siapa mungkin? Ini mumpung ada kesempatan bisa langsung disampaikan loh.
Untuk di Romer itu, Keyboy.
Oke boy, oke.
Oh, role-nya roamer ya?
Ya.
Tapi memang karena udah 1 tadi udah kecantol, udah kepancing mania, sudah ke hook. Redeem code akan dibagikan. Jadi bersiaplah, udah siap-siap belum nih udah ngetik redeem code. Harus langsung di redeem ya biar cepat-cepat dia dapat. Kesempatan semakin besar buat yang jempolnya cepat. Persiapkan, inilah dia. Redeem code untuk Franco Hide and Seek.
Silahkan langsung saja siapakah yang akan berkesempatan mendapatkan skin gratis. Jangan sampai typo ya Bude ya. Gak boleh sampai typo, ini kodenya panjang. Silahkan langsung dimasukkan saja.
Ayo, jangan difoto, langsung beneran deh, serius deh.
Yes.
Ini jempolnya pada cepet-cepet banget.
Yes, hanya mereka yang tercepat yang akan bisa mendapatkan ya skin gratis dari kode yang tertera di layar.
Jadi thank you banget semua yang sudah bermain, tim MPL. Sayang sekali kalian terpancing dan terima kasih AA. Congratulations sudah bisa mewakilkan semua super fans yang ada di sini, MPL fans. Thank you banget, kasih tepuk tangan dong.
Oke, dan itu dia tadi Franco Hide and Seek. Dan pastinya kita berharap kalian bisa mendapatkan ya skin gratis dari kode yang sudah dibagikan dari kerja keras AA. Dan Bude, karena game yang selanjutnya akan lebih menekankan, langsung saja kita akan lempar ke panelis, silakan.
So that was it. The Franco Hide and Seek. Would you be down to play a game of Franco Hide and Seek, Gideon?
I don't know. I feel like it's rigged, but at the same time...
Rigged?
Is it
What
rigged?
do you mean?
Rigged? I feel like it is, but at the same time, it's like, it could have just been bad luck, right? Like how far are we going to go into this?
Talking about rigged. Let's talk about the voting, which isn't rigged, by the way. On this topic,
Just match it. Just kidding.
Match point
Let's not go
for
there.
Team Liquid ID. How can RRQ come back in game number 3? Of course, anticipate long team fights 30%, ban with his show 51%, and avoid overcommitting 17%, which ban with his show is sitting at a 51% rate. What do you think of with his show?
Honestly, I think it looks so much better than game number 1. He's firing like some really cool angles overall, but in terms of like whether or not... Oh, wait, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Top 5 Raton win rate. 100% for Skylar.
Is it still 100%?
And
Hang
then we have
on.
Super Red, 100% as well. Marquee, 80%.
Hey, Marquee.
75% goes to, I can't really read that name. Can you help me out?
Richie.
Richie.
Richie?
It's Richie.
HCL?
Yeah, and then of course 67%
Oheb.
Oheb, a name of the past.
Of the past.
Yeah.
Well, time flies fast when you're in the esports scene, bro.
That's true.
But yeah, Nathan, still on 100% for Skylar. That's quite surprising. I believe it went down, I thought. I'm pretty sure. But we'll get back to you on that. I really do feel like, more than anything, there's not a single big glaring problem for RRQ. And that's why it's so difficult. It's a bunch of small issues, a bunch of maybe like miscommunications, mispredictions maybe, in the middle of a big fight that just gets you really, really confused. I think they have to really round off how they're supposed to team fight, right? Decide who they're supposed to target, who they're supposed to zone out, and who's supposed to kind of frontline or catch people off. I think if they can kind of get an idea of how they want to work together as a team, right? Get their roles in order. I feel like it's still a winnable situation here, but we have to wait and see. Only time will tell.
I want to circle back to the Natan though. The Natan is such an enigma. So I want to get to Gideon. Do you have an MPL M1 who is potentially one of the best Natan players there is?
I mean, don't make me say it, dude. Don't make me say it. It's innocent. Like, what are we
innocent?
Who are we kidding here? Who are we kidding? I think there is a bit of an argument for Nets, but even Nets has shown that he has limitations as well. He's not as inhuman as some people have kind of chalked him up to be, but he's still a reliable player. Coming into this, I agree with Arashi that yes, it's a lot of small mistakes that eventually pile up and become incremental.
Oh, that's the Choban.
Choban. Wait, they hurt the audience.
Did they double check it? Did they whip
They
it up?
just opened up our live stream,
You know what
and
that
they're
is?
like, yeah, the audience wanted this. Okay, let's ban it out.
You know what that is? That's democracy.
That's democracy.
Democracy,
I
baby.
knew. I had it in my head. That's democracy for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, we live on an Earth. Some may say a super Earth, but generally, things have been going. I mean, this is an interesting change of pace. I do want to see how St. Lucas is going to handle it, though. I don't think the Cho was the hard crux, but definitely was a deterrent.
No, first pick still for RRQ though. They're doubling, tripling down on the situation. Let's just see how this goes, man.
They're like, nah. If we can't have both of them, get rid of it.
Because they're on that side, right? They don't want to risk it to the hands of Skylar. But now the Suyo is wide open.
Interesting. That's what we talked about. Get the Suyo over the Sushin, but it is still open. Now, do Team Liquid want to use it? Yeheskiel is really good, I think, at this distance management kind of hero. I would think that from the results of the regular season, he would be better adjusted to a hero like this compared to Rinz, actually.
I can agree with that statement as well. If they, so that means they would have to go Alpha into Jushin, or they could go like Khalid, and then hold it as a flex. And inevitably, you want the flex pick.
Alpha here, of course, to kind of match the presence of the Suyo, but they will go for the Zuzun and Phoveus.
Of course.
Phoveus is still open.
Ooh, of course, completely forgot about the Phoveus. At this point, now RRQ needs to figure out a way to manage that lane. There's not a lot of great matchups into the Phoveus, but like it feels really bad locking in CC this early on.
I think they can't really afford to kind of lock it on that early. Maybe find another way to deal with it, but no, they go for the Yeeve even.
Yeah!
For the longest time. Against the Phoveus, you would go with a Vexana. You're trying to find ways to lock them down. The Edith is a strong second place to try and do that, but now it's only the Edith against the Phoveus. You saw this matchup earlier in one of the earlier games. It didn't really fare well for Dyren, but Rinz on the Yeeve. Now let's see if there's a very significant difference here.
There you go. Will this be the victory for RRQ? Because he said it, Arashi, Rinz's Yeeve holds 100% win rate, and he is actually very apt on this hero. And now for Team Liquid ID, what do they want to pick? Is a Nolan possibly, possible against the Suyo?
Yeah, Nolan is okay.
It is, you know why?
Why?
It just got picked up.
Hey! Thank you.
Realized he wasn't looking. I caught him off guard. That is what RRQ are trying to do, man. All right, second banning phase though. Now it gets interesting. Both gold laners not exposed just yet. And with both gold laners so adept at laning, the matchup becomes so much more important. We're talking about the Clint being such a strong all-rounder. Even against a laner like a Brody, it's almost like a skill matchup. Do both these teams want to have something like that?
Talk to me about the Nolan Suyo matchup. How is it supposed to pan out? Who really wins this matchup?
inevitably Suyo is going to win this match. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Are you trying to get kills? Are you farming heroes or the jungle?
Yeah, that's the big difference here. Yeah, because I think that, like, inevitably it's still a skill matchup. It's more favored towards Nolan when he has max energy. Generally because his cooldowns are a lot shorter, right? Suyo has to wait like a full 8 seconds before he uses any one of his abilities all over again. Once he's out of them, that's when Nolan just goes in for the one-shot. And I think, you know, the big problem here is that most of the time Nolan is so fast, moving so fast across the map that he usually is the one who takes the initiative first to make something happen, and then the Suyo ends up cleaning him up.
Okay, the Nolan against the Suyo. MPL PH have seen Demonkite against King Kong on this matchup, and all he did, for King Kong rather, with the Nolan was just to mirror the movements of the Suyo.
Yeah.
So it could have been possible, you know, for him to actually win out on this Suyo. But now the problem is, we were talking about Fabian. He isn't really the jungler who would really like to farm up his level. He's there just ganking and looking for kills.
Hang on a minute, you gotta remember, when the Nolan, when he's in a bad matchup, on the alpha when he's playing, he was one of the fastest farmers to reach level 15 in MPL ID. This guy knows how to take advantage of the fast clear of the Nolan and the alpha. That's part of why he's been so successful on both these picks. So against the Suyo, he can go for that farm heavy style, but you can see a great emphasis on the roaming here. They know that with this composition, they're gonna be up close and personal. They don't want to let Edok get a big moment, but without a Tigreal, without a Franco, are we gonna see Edok default back to something like a Ruby? Playmaking. You know, when Beloyski didn't get a Tigreal, he went for the Ruby, and that was the pick where Edok debuted and surprised everyone with.
Question, does Skylar play Lunox?
We haven't really seen him on the unconventional heroes. It's mostly Iron Jiki.
That's the thing.
Ruby Gold, the Lunox Gold.
So right now, I think that if Lunox is not an option, then probably it's Ruby, and then they can build a full dive composition, which is
Ruby Gold.
They could go into a double fighter composition if they want to. It wouldn't do too bad, but at the end of the day, the focus is a big issue. So yeah, Charisma, focus on the wave clear, have the Claw to be able to BMI out of tough spots. This is not bad from RRQ. Let's see this last pick from TLID.
I was thinking about the Claude as well. I was about to raise the issue because the Claude, you know, it, of course, is a weak side and the Herald can't bully it, but it can break out of freezes that the Herald really wants to create. And our team look at ID. Their final pick would see us look at their roamer. Now, Witty, what does he necessarily play?
Witty here. We've always seen him on something a bit more passive, in a sense that like not mechanically intense. Usually I remember him being on the Hylas a lot actually, but it's no longer an option either. Something tanky that can serve as a front line and still help with the engages.
Mincetar? Because inevitably it just comes down. Yeah,
Rock. I called it.
You get it.
Because inevitably it's about, do you double down on your engage or do you look for potential counter engage or plainly disengage, right? And I think disengage is probably the best that they're going to get, but I like the flexibility of the Grok. Overall, it just means that this early game coming out for TLID, would I say it's on par with RRQ? I would say it's definitely better, but RRQ have a lot more tools to actually manage the aggression.
Now, the big question is, will it be a 3-0 or will we see game number 4?
On paper, statistically, man, with the Yves, it's been doing so well against the Sushin. We've seen the problem there. With a Suyo, the Suyo that's been so feared, we have to see how Sushin performs on this, man.
That's very interesting. So please, to our casters, Chefin, Goni, Mirko, lead us to Light of Dawn.
This might be the climax. This might be the end of this series. The decider of who's going to be the first one to represent Indonesia in Malaysia in M6 World Championship. But surely, the King of Kings don't want to let that happen. Let's see in the Land of Dawn.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! Potentially, this is going to be the last game of this series. Let's see. Does RRQ have enough gas in their tank to take it to game 4?
It's a good question, Gani. It does seem like TLID have finally chosen a new hero. By the way, great purple buff reset there by Witty. Unfortunately, no capitalization because RRQ, Suyo, Sutsujin, for intelligent pathing will clear the entire bottom side before moving over to the purple buff. What's interesting, what caught my eye instantly is the fact that both roamers goes for the Brave Smite, not the concussive blast that we are used to seeing from the Grok, for the instant clear. I'm guessing because Jusin clears pretty well herself, now we want to go for the Brave Smite. For Edok, I think on Roam Edith, this is quite it's more normal to see compared to Grok, but it is the Wilderness Blessing plus also the agility, so he wants to be super fast. Mr. Grokman over here is also agility for Aran. Wants to be... Wow, okay, that one, there's something interesting as well, is the weapon mastery selection for Aaron Shiki. I think we've seen a lot of Bargain Hunter, seen a lot of Inspires as well, but he's gone for the weapon mastery, looking for that mid-game power spike, or even late game, I would say, to get items, equipment, and then start dealing damage.
Fabian, very, very heavy pressure onto Rosito, who forced to use the flicker, and even then, Fabian wants a bite or two. But oh man, and the flicker is gone for Mr. Edok for the next objective, possibly. So it's gonna be safer for Fabian to actually execute Retribution, the next objective. But Mirko, again, Yeheskiel, oh, never mind, gotta wait.
Aran popping the Vengeance in the backside. Actually, Sutsujin caught. And that's the first blood for TLID. Darren finds the trade with the help of Rins. Witty and Fabian, good juke, and the real world manipulation was able to be triggered. Yeheskiel, a little bit late, but that's a knockup on Tortito, who has no flicker.
Good to see that TLID is still addicted to the rush. They're not stopping on the team fight. They're not stopping to kill the members of RRQ.
Really intelligent punish there from Fabian. He was just waiting for the moment, but also really well played from Aran. Pops into Vengeance, and he got the Brave Smite proc while also hitting the minions to get a bit more sustained with his first skill. Bottom lane, Shaman Force.
Whoa. Is actually very low. Still holding on to that Purify, but that's going to be a freeze in the bottom side.
Yeah, the Harith not really... I mean, the Claude not really a good matchup into the Harith. That's why I really didn't expect them to go for the Claude. It's a comfort pick, and in these situations, it's great. TLID, though, Turtle.
See here, TLID with the control. That's a knockup onto Rizweedy. It's a wild charge. Good response. But Fabian finds an angle. Retribution for Sutsujin. Weedy will lose his life. Now we're on tanking 3 members of RRQ. Dyron very low, but it seems like with the Vengeance now, we're on. Still will not be able to find the trade. RRQ, great response for that turtle take.
Yep, a good lead to build on is early of the game. Especially, Yeheskiel almost got taken down. Got taken down by Sutsujin.
Has the flicker, luckily, to escape. RRQ with a great first neutral objective take, but TLID, the scene right here.
Whoa.
Oh, that was a weird interaction, actually. Fabian?
This flickers out, but it seems like with the fracture, Fabian finds his first kill of the game.
It seems like no matter what the hero Rins is playing, he's not gonna have a good time against TLID, man. He's been one of the prime targets of the cavalry so far.
Fabian is just him on the Assassins, man. He knows exactly how to go for these picks, the calculation. We got the general of RRQ here.
Very fine line between this hero is busted and is this healthy for the game. And personally for me, I don't think Suyo as its current state is that healthy. Mainly because of that Soul Sever. That is my biggest issue. You should not have a Balman ult ready to rip, ready to go, and just reduce its range and call it a day.
And that Soul Sever as well serves as a mini retry, I would say.
Yeah,
the objective takes in the Lord fights, in the Turtle fights as well. We talked about this as well with KB. I talked about a lot about how this Soul Sever is a problem. It might need a little tweaking, but again, you know, Suyo, a newly released hero, that's always bound to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. Again, like, the Balman was meta for a while because of the ultimate, and now you're giving it as a second skill, a spammable skill.
A drive-through Balman ult.
Drive-through Balman ult. It's nasty.
So much better.
It's genuinely nasty, but then again, at the same time when we saw the progression of this game, I thought maybe they were going to steal a lot more purple buffs. I'm not going to lie to you. It definitely felt like RRQ was giving TLID a lot of respect from early to mid, even though they were the ones perpetrating the dominance, right?
We're going to talk about the elephant in the room here. So let's talk about the MVP, but, you know, we saw that Suyo performance. I think it's no secret whatsoever.
The S in Sutsujin stands for Suyo, as he is the MVP, the player of the game presented by the official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. What do you have to say about this guy, Arashi?
I bet Shepard is saying like, oh, Sutsujin the Satsujin down there. That means murderer in Japanese. Satsujin. Oh man, here are some highlights, and I want to see that one moment where Fabian, doing Fabian things, was so sneakily looking for him. He got caught here, and it really, you know, was an ominous moment for, I guess, the RRQ fans. Like, whoa, Suyo taken out, the mighty Suyo taken out. But afterwards, they recovered, and they have a good balance now, of a good front line, of good engage, and they have Rins now no longer on the Jushin. It's actually on the Yves. much more comfortable. You're seeing him doing way better compared to previous games. But this Suyo, man, Susujin at every single moment just has no surprise in him. Fabian tried to pick him off right there from behind, and he very casually just stepped out.
He's cool, calm, and collected for a reason. That's why you don't see him, like, you know, overly joyous when they win these games. He just knows it's just another day in the office. He's cool, calm, collected, most likely cold-blooded, you know, warning to the Blizzard people. But generally, I think that even if you are in TL ID's position, what could you realistically do to try and change this game? And the more that I think about it, the more difficult it becomes. Because it just centralizes around being able to fight around the usual objectives, but even then, it's so very hard unless you can bait out the RWM.
Yeah, the big ultimates from inside RRQ, even the Primal Wrath available here. Man, it really feels like the Trushin, it might just be a pick that doesn't really fit the playstyle of both these teams, right? Because even for Team Liquid there, come on, Yeheskel is a very capable player, and even then he was finding it difficult to really have the same kind of impact that the Yves did in the previous games.
So does this mean that the Zeusin is actually picked for the sake of the patch more than so the sake of comfortability of these teams?
I think for some teams it can still work just fine, but look at this man right here, dude. It's so lifelike.
Blooded.
It's so lifelike, dude. I don't think he's human.
It's a one-to-one image.
It doesn't flinch.
He doesn't flinch at all. Personally, I think he's just fuming. He's fuming from that game. It's like they could have ended it quicker. They could have done a couple of things different. Inevitably, 23 to 11, 15 minutes overall. I do think that RRQ, they just felt really at home with this type of composition, mainly because of their hero picks.
And the question becomes the Suyo, right? The damage. What's the best build that the Suyo has to undergo?
Oh, you know, it's standardized. It's been standardized. You go Impure Rage, and then the build is right here, Hunter Strike, War Axe, and then you can decide to go, usually teams like to go for BOD third, but if they're starting to fall behind, generally you start picking up the Queen's Wings, and then eventually finish it off with the Malefic Roar.
Man, so much damage right there. And don't forget, Skylar in this game was pressured. He wasn't really snowballing, and he still was able to actually get to a full item build, again, when he's given space to actually farm up and actually participate in these big team fights.
Yeah, that's another point to address as well, right? The Claude. Usually a weak side laner, especially against a Harith who is a lane bully. How did the Claude really survive against the Harith there?
Just kind of, you know, with the Claude, you mentioned it earlier, I think, realize you can just break the freeze, you can clear the waves, and kind of play it safe. Have a lot more ways to escape from big ganks in the early game.
BMI.
With the Natan, the entropy comes in level 4, and we've seen Team Liquid go hard at Skylar pre-level 4. But now with the Claude, we see a couple of times the rotation go to the bottom lane, and Skylar just pieces out. You have to remember back then, this Claude was never allowed in the hands of Skylar for a long period of time. It was feared in MPL ID. And even in the other regions too, sometimes.
Yeah, indeed. And let's talk about Witty, right? Because, you know, a lot of
not looking so witty now.
The audience topic voting was talking about Cho needs to be banned, right? Because the Cho has been very valuable in his hands. And now with the Grok, we talked about how the Grok is actually a good supplement into the draft that Team Liquid ID wanted to run. But the Grok did not see much of an effectiveness, I would say, in that match. What do you think about the Grok?
I think that at this point, as much as I want to believe that Grok could have been able to pull out a couple more things out of their sleeve from the toolkit, at the same time, I think Edok just played a little bit better this time around. I think he definitely felt hyper-confident, and the large reason why there was such a big winning lane on the bottom side, despite it not being great for Skylar, was the fact that Edok was willing to sacrifice his flicker. Just go on in, onward, make something happen, try it out, try his best.
Not to mention he's able to find a lot more ways to kind of pick off. We've seen him play the Franco earlier, what was it in game number 2?
It was...
Game number 1 as well.
Game number one was Franco.
Was it Edith as well? No, it's Khalid.
Yes.
But now with the faster execution at pickoff, you saw a couple of high value onwards, and fortunately for Fabian, he was able to actually get out of it and dodge away from the Earth Shatter. And even then, there's a case to be made that there could be an outplay where Edok kind of uses it backwards, right? Just to catch him in the dash. But yeah, this is where Edok wants to be, right? In picks like this, and it really fits with the whole composition.
I think that it could... from here onwards, I'm hoping that RRQ giving priority over to TL ID TLID need to make a choice, blue or red side, and I think this is going to be the most important choice for them. Because as much as they want to end this game against RRQ, I think RRQ are now kind of going back to, we're already at this last game, we're going to lose a life if we don't do our best here. We might as well play like we got nothing to lose. So I would only assume that RRQ is whipping out the gold pocket picks, the good olds.
Yeah. Hopefully they do just that, because now it gets kind of scary for Team Liquid ID. Because they have been in this position, you know, they dominate and they just whip away their enemies, but they get stuck in that mental block, you know, the fear of being reverse swept. But of course, we are going to throw it to our host for an interview upstage.
Masih bersemangat karena kita melihat bahwa final upper bracket semakin memanas dengan adanya RRQ yang mengejar ketertinggalan. Kali ini poin 21. Tapi kemarin juga Bude benar-benar melihat semangat dari semua super fans dan juga para Kingdom, The Cavalry, semuanya ingin menyaksikan yang terbaik untuk kedua timnya. Dan ada yang menarik perhatian nih di sini. Kemarin ada yang ulang tahun, dapat hadiahnya bukan main-main, dapat hadiahnya kemenangan match. Bude mau langsung ngobrol dengan yang ulang tahun kemarin, karena itu pastinya hadiahnya sangat berarti loh. Happy birthday.
Terima kasih Bude.
Langsung sepi nih ruangan.
Iya. Gak apa-apa, tetap semangat Kingdom, let's go. Yeay. Mana suaranya Kingdom? Oh masih ada.
Oh,
masih semangat.
Ya, kemarin habis dapat hadiah ulang tahun dari tim RRQ loh.
Iya, final upper setelah berapa season ya. Ya bersyukurlah itu berkat kerja keras lah intinya gitu. Hoki Bude gitu.
Oh iya, hoki Bude.
Ya.
Tapi kalau Viel bilang ini final upper bracket, apa sih yang dibutuhkan RRQ nih? Mungkin ada yang mau disampaikan gitu?
Yang dibutuhkan RRQ ini sih lebih ke
lebih ke Viel nggak ngomong gitu. Bentar.
Sorry,
rame banget
Bude.
nih, rame banget.
Sebelumnya, maaf. Terakhir 2 kali ngobrol sama Bude, kita ke comeback ya. Jadi tadi dulu.
Tapi waktu itu kondisinya kan RRQ lagi menang.
Iya. Ini
lagi
barusan kita menang 1 game doang nih Bude.
Oke.
Ini udah masuk, ini bahaya Bude. Ya, jangan.
Jadi jangan boleh pegang mic
Makasih,
ya.
ya.
Oke. Viel pojokan aja, diem, jongkok aja ya. Duduk saja, biarkan di sini.
Boleh.
Para PHP ya, para talent yang udah
Nggak
ngomong.
usah, Mas.
Udah, Viel, jangan.
Ya, udah.
Oke, dari kalian sendiri nih, ada nggak sih semangat yang ingin kalian salurkan untuk RRQ?
Semangat pasti ya, kita harus tetap optimis. Nggak usah Mas, udah. Tapi tetap
pegangin.
Respect, kita yakin dan selalu support apapun yang terjadi. Bareng Kingdom kita sama-sama pasti bisa. Setuju Kingdom? Iya, enggak Mas, udah Mas di sana aja. Iya, gitu Bude.
Tenang. Jangan pegangin, tolong pegangin. Kalau dari Buluk gimana?
Tutupin Bang Bul.
Bang Bul ini yang dinanti-nantikan nih.
Apa Bude?
Biasanya kata-kata mutiara nih.
Bang Ler, abang udah jauh-jauh nih datang nih Bang Ler. Ayo Bang Ler, M6 Bang Ler.
Jauh-jauh.
Benar Bude.
Demi nih.
Ya requestan Bang Ler.
Wah, lagi
Datang.
dong, kayak waktu itu dong.
Lagi Bude.
Setelah di request, gimana tuh? Kamu langsung, oke siap, gas.
Langsung berangkat.
Suara udah mulai serak-serak nih kayaknya.
Udah
Buluk.
Bude. Udah mulai serak nih.
Pokoknya semangat banget ya pastinya ya.
Pasti.
Bang Ler, ingat ini ada Bulu yang sudah hadir. Kalau dari Shalma nih. Jangan kasih itu aja yang penting.
Iya,
Oke.
nggak boleh. Harusnya nggak usah di sini ya.
Kalau Shalma sendiri nih, ini mungkin di luaran banyak lagi yang deg-degan juga. Dari para Kingdom, dari para super fans. Melihat final upper bracket yang begitu mendebarkan. Mungkin Shalma mau menyampaikan sesuatu nggak?
Yang buat di luar. Pokoknya buat Kingdom makasih banyak walaupun nggak bisa nonton di stage. Pokoknya tetap semangat, tetap dukung RRQ. Semoga RRQ sekarang bisa juara hari ini.
Kan karena kuncinya udah nggak dikasih mic ya?
Udah nggak dikasih ngomong.
Oke. Sebelum Viel nyolong mic kita, mending kita saksikan bersama ya. Kita akan melanjutkan permainan karena mereka masih akan berjuang. Ini adalah best of 5 series. Kita nggak akan tahu siapa yang akan mendapatkan game selanjutnya. Game yang keempat. Mari kita langsung saja balikin kepada para panel. Ya. Eldorado Del Bandung.
I hope they play Feel. Anyways, happy birthday, Feel.
Big shout outs to Phil, man. Big shout out.
Shout out.
He's 23 years old according to his
Mr.
Instagram
Muppets.
post. According to his Instagram post, he's 23 years old.
23?
Ladies and gentlemen, remember that.
Wow, he's very young, just like me, 23.
Really?
Yeah.
I now hate the both of you. I can officially just not like you all.
Alright, but Team Liquid ID is also not liking the looks of this, right?
I agree.
The loss in game number 3, does it kind of signal possibly a mental block, which some might say it's too early to conclude, but do you think that might be the case?
Well, unlike in game number 1 and 2, it really felt like the issues were pretty glaringly obvious. The Suyo was just too strong, and we're not getting a proper frontliner. With the bans in game 1 and 2 also really shifting more towards these big tanky members, it makes sense, right? I think Widdy was really caught off guard there, like, oh dang, wait, I don't actually have anything to use right here, what do I do? So in a sense, it's great, but it's also quite the quick fix compared to RRQ's issues.
And now, of course, the audience topic voting, again, democracy. Let's talk about how RRQ steals 1 point. How can TLID win in game number 4? Number 1 is Ban Suyo with 30% and 37% win rate. Number 2 is Top Overhyping, 22%. And number 3, Respect RRQ's hero power.
Really?
41%. Is it the Suyo RRQ's hero power?
Well, it hasn't been. Are they talking about the Claude and the Yve? You can make the argument that the Claude and the Yve were also impactful, but if you were in their shoes, realize, and you had to pick between a Suyo or the Claude Yve combo, I don't know, man.
I'd go for the Suyo still.
You would rather face the Suyo?
I would go for the Suyo.
If you're against them, what would you rather go up against, the Suyo
Claude.
or a Yve Claude?
Claude Yve.
Claude Yve?
Yeah.
So you don't follow the democratic pattern here, man.
Yeah, you gotta listen to the people.
Sometimes you gotta put some order into it.
Whoa!
mean,
Is it kind of managed democracy?
Yeah, man.
Controlled democracy.
Thank you. Just keep up with the broadcast, and I think people would understand that very quickly. Overall, I do think that like it was a little shocking to see that
First pick.
Okay.
All right. Different dynamic almost immediately here.
This is interesting because that means they found they found something in the draft that they could potentially punish. I would like to see maybe both Jushin and Yve getting banned out this round. I don't know what the order is, whether both are going to be on dedicated to one team or whether both teams are going to agree, gentlemen's agreement, 1 ban each. Let's just get rid of these mages and save ourselves some time.
Or what if Team Liquid ID get their hands on the Suyo? Is that possible?
I don't think RRQ is gonna let it slide.
Nah.
But looking at the, I mean, there's a lot of things to be banning away here. The Fanny, for sure. We've seen the Fanny and Angela always come through.
Fabian Fanny. That's one of the scariest Fannies we saw in MPL ID Season 14, right?
Right, so they're gonna be forced to ban at least 2, right? The Suyo and the Fanny. So that only leaves 1 more ban. And I think usually it's Mathilda, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So a lot of things left open there, but is there anything that is worth that much? Because we're just talking about the power of being second pick.
Oh, well, personally, I think this is going to be really interesting because now RRQ definitely have quite an interesting advantage, but they didn't. Okay, so they end up banning out the Fanny. I definitely thought they could have opened it up and maybe played it into Suyo, maybe get a Suyo, maybe get an opportunity to actually play out those matchups, but signature heroes are getting banned out fast.
Is this a plan for Team Liquid to kind of force RRQ to let go of the Cho? Right, now they banned the Cho, they have to ban the Suyo, so the Mathilda will be left open, right? It's a forced error technically in the drafting phase right here.
Unless TLID decide to get rid of Phoveus first.
Yeah. Mathilda, Suyo still available if they do ban out the Phoveus and maybe even the Zeusin, but I don't think the Zeusin is now as IO. I feel like it kind of loses its, priority in this drafting phase.
What? This is illegal!
No way.
Call the police!
It's either gonna be Mathilda or Suyo.
Call the blue side police. Blue side.
Nino.
We do not condone the ban of chip on blue side. That's a red side thing.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Do get the chip. I feel like it's gonna be a different story. We haven't seen chip being picked, right?
It should never be seen. It should not see the light of day, honestly. It needs to stay in the ban list. It needs to always be at 100%.
Hey, the keyword here is should, right? It's more like rules are more like guidelines, really. But
rules are meant to be broken.
Like buildings.
Well, you know when an M6 ticket is on the line, I don't know it's the right time to say that 90% of gamblers quit before they make it big.
Hey.
Like, I don't know if you really want to roll the dice on that. But Suyo gets banned out as the follow-up, which is great. First pick, TLID. Let's see what it is. Mathilda?
Roll the dice, they won't, because they ban out the Suyo. Yeah, this could be a Mathilda, right? And then you can maybe contest the Alpha, but I think the Alpha would be open in RRQ. Yeah, it's either going to be Zusin or Mathilda then.
Yeah, at least it's going to be a guaranteed pick there for Witty. That seems to be the opening that RRQ were able to exploit earlier. But if they go for that, the Yves is available, the Claude is available.
Yeah, the Claude is available.
Oh,
I think they just straight up just take the Matilda, right?
Should be.
No.
Obvious first?
Obvious.
Okay.
Interesting.
Is this TLID saying like, okay, you did well on Eve, but I don't think you'll do good on Jushin. We'll even give you a Matilda to spice up the deal.
What, like a Jushin Matilda?
Jushin Matilda?
Why not Eve Matilda? I feel like it's the same idea, just a bit better. And this is the matchup we saw earlier. The Phobius wasn't really dominating. We saw Dairon actually match up to him on that Terizla. It's gonna be the Alpha.
Alpha Matilda.
Alpha Matilda.
Okay.
Trying to bait using that and then get the Yves, go for the purple combo.
Take a purple, come on.
It's orange though, in El Dorado. So if you are
Oh wow.
here yet, don't come here. Oh, Angela Ling.
Angel Ling?
This Angela 100% is gonna go mid lane, right?
You never know.
It's still considered to be a flex pick. And I think this is one of the more intelligent uses of the Angela flex pick overall. Oh wow, I didn't even want to go farthest!
Faramis picked to counter the Ling jump when he pops the Tempest Blades to just initiate on you. But I think yesterday, we actually saw Moreno go for Faramis as well against Fabian's Angela Ling. But that even did not work.
Did we? Oh man, so many things has happened.
Wait, he bans out Ruby. He's not thinking about the mid lane right now. Does he not want to force this Angela into the mid lane rather than the support? Is he more worried about the supports?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's an option for Team Liquid ID to flex the Angela over to Witty, right? Still get him a good hero that he's known to play before.
Yeah.
And then go for the Valentina and match that front-to-back collision.
I think even better, instead of matching it, you already have like some pretty decent AoE ults anyways, right? So now the only relationship left is how does the mid lane interact with the enemy gold laner, and that's why they're pinching down on it. Get rid of the Irithel, don't give him extra movement speed. Oh, but if we're talking about movement speed, does that mean they want to position Angela for the mid then?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Yves is still in the minds of Team Liquid ID.
I think Yves is decent.
Right, if you have a health dispenser like the Angela, you have a strong frontline like the Phobius, and you have range and poke like the Yves, you're setting up yourself to chunk down on your opponent's HP bars and allow Fabian a lot of success. Although, the Mathilda can also heal up, and technically the Faramis can kind of throw a wrench in all of those plans. But I think it's a common theme that the Faramis gets countered by the Yves, so it's still definitely a bit of a concern.
Aurora bad.
Aurora.
What? Coning down the mid options there for Team Liquid ID.
But why?
They're just trying to make sure that nothing really stops the all-in, the dash through, I feel like. Especially with an Alpha. We've seen a couple of teams fall short when the Alpha is put up against that Aurora, man. Well, 2 long-duration stuns.
Here's the thing, right? Personally, for me, when you see a Ling and you have Aurora available, if you have Aurora available, usually it's the go-to, right? Assassins struggle to deal with Aurora, but the fact that KSQ have decided, you know what, we're playing a Farmist style of composition with extra sustain and extra mobility. Now the problem is, how do you manage to outplay these situations with big ults against TLID? That's why we're seeing a lot of these big bans come in out. Did they just lock in?
Claude.
They banned the Claude.
They banned the Claude. Okay, thank God. I couldn't see it there. But yeah, big, strong AoEs at this point of time. Eve going to be a huge potential problem unless they've got a direct answer.
Barat?
That's an interesting way to address it.
Barat's Mathilda?
Barat's Mathilda, Barat's Alpha.
Yeah.
This is the Mathilda Airlines composition.
This is the Matilda Air Network.
Because yesterday, Dairon actually picked this up as well, and it proved to be very crucial into stopping the CCs coming in from the opposing team with the Daytona's welcome. He can always be that ever-sustaining frontline that would always cover up for his teammates.
All right, man. Will the Yves come through here? If they go for that same Wishing Lantern build that Moreno went for, that's a lot of ways to chunk down this Barats before the fight even gets into an all-in. But they've once again went for, by limiting all the gold laners, they've gone for the Harriet themselves here.
Yeah.
And Aaron, so far, hasn't really done well when he lacked that DPS to really take matters into his own hands. This could be a high loss.
Ah.
All right. bait and switch for Team Liquid ID. Okay, really on the highlights most likely though.
I think at this point, at least they give themselves early game options. They kind of pivoted to like, we're not going to play pure early game, but by our mid game, we're decently okay. We're decently strong, which I think that right now, the only person in the mid game who's to be strong is only the alpha. Maybe the Barat if he gets like a decent lane overall, but we'll see how that goes.
What gold lane here though? For the longest time, oh, the Bruno.
Bruno Harith.
Oh boy. I feel like in the early game, the Bruno will still have ways to outplay, but at level 4, the Harith will have more all-in potential.
All-in
most likely.
Yeah.
All comes down to how long the trades are, right? Bruno excels in the longer trades, but later on with the Zaman Force, it kind of equalizes. I feel like it's going to be, once more, a highlight of the roaming, right? Will the mid lane and roam actually be able to influence that gold lane?
It's a tough call here. I think that this is by far the most even amongst the compositions. Both compositions are designed to put themselves in a position where they can really take advantage of each other.
It's very interesting to see. Will Team Liquid ID punch their tickets early, or will RRQ spoil the party and force a game number 5? Casters, take it away.
This young rookies has been in this situation before in this playoffs. Up 2-1. They were equalized by Bigatron Alpha, but this time around it's the King of Kings. Will it happen? Will it not? Let's see what's gonna happen in the Land of Dawn.
TLID. Let's see the trials and tribulations against RRQ. Can RRQ pull up? And will we see a game 5?
I really hope we see a game 5, you know? We saw a game 5 for Bigatron TL. It would only be fair to see a full game 5 for our upper bracket finals as well, man. This Faramis pick was brilliant. Honestly, RRQ did all the homework. Haskill doing a good job, though. Oh, Rin's on level 2.
That's immobilized. And that is a solo kill. Angela against Rins on the mid, on the Faramis. What?
That's a counter. That was supposed to be the counter, but he miscalculated hard.
Oh, man, Rins so far in this playoffs, man, he's been getting absolutely bullied by literally everyone.
I agree.
On the opponent.
Yeah, not the best of looks for our first team mid lane here, but we are going to be taking a look at the emblems by IndyHome. But before that, seems like it's going to be a bit of an invade. Fabian, normal emblems, this time Inspire plus Tenacity for Aaron Shiki. He's learned his lesson. He went for Weapon Mastery, a bit greedy. He goes for Tenacity here to just take in a bit more damage in the skirmishes. As long as he's able to take some damage, he'll be able to return the favor.
When he pops the Revitalize here early, Rins pulls up and yeah, Flicker popped there. Let's see here in the early minutes. It's still TLID in the driver's seat.
I think the only fix is just for Rins to lock in, because that was not it. You're wasting a flicker before the neutral objective even begins.
Yeah, this is really well played by Aaron Shiki. He's actually gotten the advantage in lane, but Skylar has QC, so it should be good.
Aran being the main target, pops the flicker himself. And that is the green light for RRQ. Let's take the river.
Not much bodies on the front for TLID right now. Aran is already half HP. Siren might be looking to go.
Oh, what? Whoa! That's the Daytona's welcome blind one. And Sitsujin claims the turtle. Tempest of Blade Pop, that's a 2-man knockup. Rins will be the first one to fall. Aran will be the trade, and Dyron will try to sustain himself, but he will fall. Fabian 1 HP.
Oh my god!
Cheeky. Mr. Solo Man finds the solo against Skylar. Circling Eagle against Haskill here. Round 2. Let's go. But Rins hovers around, and that will be TLID's slight edge there.
Now this is the TLID tempo that we've seen in game number 1 and in game number 2. But what a play by Tyrant, man. A reminiscence of Lemon bringing down a Ling with a Ruby.
Man, really well played from Tyrant. Really good chomp down, but how the heck did Fabian mid-flight do all that without purple buff? That's what's crazy-er, I would say. You know, the chomp was already crazy. I thought that was going to be the highlight. Witty shouldn't really be committed down upon by RRQ. Aaron got so many things happened there. I don't know where to start. Fabian, no purple buff, decided to go in with the hard guard. Was a good decision, but then Tyron got the chomp down. And then how the heck did he get all of it played like that with no purple? What?
It's a game that defies your belief. It goes beyond your expectations. And right now, the whole team of RRQ is going towards the bottom lane.
Oh, Circling Eagle, that's the find! He finds the connection. Glorious Pathway does not save Witty. RRQ, they know where to put the bags in, and it's the gold lane. Don't bully the horse. Don't bully Witty.
No.
And the cat also. This is animal abuse. Peter, where are you right now?
Hey, man. It's going to be really tough for TL ID to secure neutral objectives, but I think with this composition, their main goal isn't really neutral objectives. RRQ able to equalize that gold lead with a few shots down the bottom lane. It's actually almost the entire turret gold taken out. Yeah, RRQ will definitely have control over all the neutral objectives. Akan's still going in, what?
No, first pathway pops. Circling Eagle, Setsujin finds the turtle. Now there's a two-man fight here. Tempest the Blade! Munch. Daytona's welcome with the connection, but Darren falls. Setsujin holding on. Aran will not survive Fabian in the mid lane. That's a 1-4-1. The turtle, though, goes to the Kings of Kings.
Yeah, man, Aran on this Mobius once again. Good thing right now he's on a flicker, so he has a way to get away from some of the engages from RRQ. But once again, against a Faramis, a Mathilda, this kiting heavy composition coming in from RRQ, it's gonna be a hard time.
Yeah, they have to give Fabian the farm up top, Aran actually go into the mid lane and Yehezkiel. This is, I guess, the advantage of having the Angela. You don't really need a lot of gold, right? All you need to do is get the rest of your team to a good spot, and then you just play as a support. Purple buff though, yeah.
They will contest this. Setsujin finds no, actually still Fabian, no. What the heck? Aran is still sandbagging the front lines alongside Witty. Revitalized pops, no casualties, but actually RRQ, they managed to get the purple.
Man, oh man, and the purple is taken away, and now the potential of this Ling is gonna be half, but we gotta consider, man, what happened before when Fabian doesn't have that purple buff. It is still Fabian.
It's not going to be Fabian for long, though, I would say, if Setsujin continues with this pace, because he's taken everything away from Fabian. And yeah, without the purple buff, you can still catch those blades, though it is a bit harder. Without gold, without XP, you shouldn't really be able to threaten anyone. You were talking about how Skylar would be quite vulnerable, especially because the Herald lane,
bottom lane,
should actually have a lot of kill pressure on the Bruno. But yeah, no, not anymore, I think. Look at Setsujin.
First pathway. The back lines in the realm to save his life. Skylar finds the kill. Now Daytona's welcome lands on Aran. He flickers out RRQ though. They are out for blood. Aran will not be able to escape as Ren secures the kill.
RRQ, they don't want to go down 3-1. They don't want to let go of these M6 tickets right away from the upper bracket finals. Now Fabian got something in the top lane, but is it worth it?
I don't think it is worth it, but it's the only trade they can go for. Unfortunately, it's gone to a point where that's the perceived desperate plays already for the side of TL ID because they can't go for the purple buffs here. RRQ, Mathilda, Alpha, this is why it's so scared. This is why everybody always picks it up. The pressure is ridiculous.
First pathway here to hinder the movements. The TL ID this time, Fabian finds the purple. Spear of Alpha lands on Witty, and he will be eliminated. RRQ still asserting dominance in the jungles of TL ID.
This goes out of my radar, but Mirko, you gotta tell me how TL ID can take down this Dino, man. How do you do it with a Ling and also a Harith?
Honestly, I'm struggling to find an I guess they have to really wait for late game. Like they have to wait for the power spikes.
Who do you funnel your gold to though?
Yeah, at this point they should ignore the barrage. They should just go for Skylar. They have to go for Skylar and Setsujin. That's easier said than done. Yeah, probably just Skylar. It's a tough game, and RRQ have so many ways to keep Skylar alive with the Mathilda, with the Faramis, and yeah, Hylos gets eaten up.
Hylos, revitalized hard guard even invested, and he still goes down. RRQ, they are just very, it's insanity seeing how they play Inner.
Whoa.
Will be the trade for Inner top lane though. That is TL ID trying to delay the movements. RRQ still controlling the Land of Dawn.
Yeah. Fabian right now is playing like a lone wolf, or maybe a lone horse even, on the top lane, getting all he can, but again, it's not gonna be worth it.
Yeah, the lone stallion, still where you're looking for there. TL ID, Fabian, that's what he needs to do. He can't go into his own jungle, he can't play with the team because he needs to scale up, he needs to get items, and the only way for a Ling to do that with so much pressure being taken away by the enemy team is you gotta go into the side lanes. You need to play with the side lane pressure here. Unfortunately for TL ID, there's no one really on RRQ that can match this side lane pressure instantly, so they're gonna have to send some of their forces. This is the typical alpha composition. When you have an alpha, usually you just want to stick together, play as 5, go for neutral objectives. So there is an opening in that department. Fabian will continue to scale. And I'm not sure about Aaron Shiki. He's definitely going to be struggling to get those items.
They got spotted out trying to steal the Lord, and I don't think they need even a Sutsujin to go for this one, as Fabian is going to take anything that he can in the bottom lane. Good value though. Oh man, right inner. Both top and bot taken down here. TLID damage damage control.
All right, back again. It's just RRQ utilizing the composition to go for neutral objectives. It's almost 100% neutral objective control always when you have an Alpha Mathilda against a Ling. That's why I was against the idea of the Angeling in the draft. Yeah. But for RRQ, they're definitely having a blast here. Holy defense in the mid lane.
Mid lane now. Oh, that's an initiation there with the Spirit of Alpha. Witty trying to hold on, trying to zone out members. Revitalize popped! Doesn't matter. Tyler finds the kill. Bates turret though is actually alive now in the back side. Fabian looking for the kill, but Aron, he will not fall. Skylar is going to be the trade, but Edok will fall. That's a double by Aaron Cheeky. TLID, they made their defense, and RRQ, they are forced to go back. Fabian, his signal going right, but goes left instead. Like an Indonesian mom on a motorbike.
This guy is special. What the heck? He did that again without the purple buff. He hasn't gotten a purple buff since, I forgot, but what the heck? This guy's playing without purple buff. He's going and farming like a god, and now he gets his purple buff. Now it gets scary for RRQ. Skylar needs to win the nature quick, real quick. Oh, he went for the GDS third item. He is going to be quite vulnerable now because, again, they didn't really halt Fabian's farm completely. He has an endless battle at 10. That's not bad at all for the timer of the Ling, especially when you're up against a Mathilda Alpha that should really be a way to shut the Ling down. This is impressive stuff from TLID, from Fabian and Aaron Shiki. Man, even Aaron on the way to the Holy Crystal. Their farm, okay, Aaron is a bit late to the party with the item build, but still, 11 minutes, it's not a bad timing. It's not a bad timer to get the Holy Crystal. It's still fine and dandy. Still within the period of time where the enemy team shouldn't have that much magic defense.
Oh, they commit. Wow, that's a catch Spear of Alpha! Nope. Tempest the Blade with the help of Hard Guard though. To find the defense, and they survive. Oh man, gotta hold your breath, but I don't think it's gonna be taken down, but the run might be though. There's an attempt. And that's the flicker from Aron. Let's see in the mid lane defense. Coming forward, pops, Witty, revitalized, committed, and that's gonna be the nether round. Oh, what? Oh, I don't understand. Aaron Cheeky is down, and RRQ, they get the mid base turret. I think that was the balls from Skylar.
Yep.
The damage? Oh my worldy. Out of nowhere.
With Rins too, with the Ghost Bursters, Rins got the kill, but yeah, Skylar, he got a crit down onto Mr. Aaron Shiki.
What the heck?
It's a game of inches now. It's a game of pixels. They gotta be very, very careful. Aaron doing a good job trying to keep the base turret alive in the mid lane. But after, you know, the fourth Chrono Dash, I think they really should have backed away. Another Lord for free for RRQ. And I've got to take a look at the items here. Wind Talker. So for Skylar, even despite the fact that, you know, they almost lost a skirmish earlier, he's still thinking, I have enough sustain. I have a Mathilda. I have a Paramis. There's no reason for me to go for Wind of Nature here. I can just rely on what my team has, the utility that my team has. And honestly, yeah, the utility hasn't failed him. Actually, it has twice, but once. It has once.
Man,
just once.
And this composition, man, the Angeling, Ling, I don't think he can even eliminate one lane that usually a lot of Lings do. And this composition, the wave clear, is nothing sort of like, it's terrible and horrible. It's terrible.
It's terrible. It definitely is.
What? Sutsujin jumps in. Purify triggered. Shaman Force already committed as well. TLID pulling the Lord towards the bottom side. RRQ moving with the Lord. Aron munched down, taken down. Tempest of Blade committed. Nether Realm already triggered actually. But RRQ, they're still hovering. Lord taken care of in the backside. Ooh. With the help of Hardguard, Fabian looking for something, doesn't find the connection. But the Shaman Force, it's already a cycle. Skylar finds the mark. TLID still holding on though. Rins very aggressive, but he will be taken down. Aaron Cheeky survived barely. But Iron trying to win or ground the situation. RRQ, they're looking for the main base. RRQ has Skylar. They can take it to game 5. Ladies
and gentlemen, Kings of Kings has done it. They're not gonna go down just yet. They take it to game number 5. The final climax that we've been waiting for. We got a series, ladies and gentlemen.
A clean sweep? Did you really think a clean sweep would be happening in the upper bracket finals? 2-2. Just like yesterday, 2-2. But yesterday, TL ID were able to overcome the reverse sweep to take game 5. Against RRQ though, full momentum. And the drafts have been phenomenal from them too. That Mathilda Alpha, they just stayed consistent with what works. TL ID going to comfort way too early in the series, going to experiment, I feel way too early there. The Mathilda was open for them. They could have gone for so many different picks, but they banked on the Angela Ling, and without the Ruby, we can see the true weakness here. Ruby wasn't banned yesterday. That's why Bigachan faltered. The Ruby was an enabler to kind of stop everybody from moving so that the Tempest Blades would hit, so that the Defiant Blades could be used up to deal damage. Everybody was clumped up together, always with a Faramis. It was almost the same formula, but Sir Kaz cute. Notice the Ruby banned it out, take it away. And he wasn't worried about the Harith, not at all. They had the Bruno coming, and the Bruno just scaled. Waited for the mid-game power spike, waited for the glass cannon build to be complete. Once the glass cannon build was complete, it's risky, usually, but with a Faramis and a Mathilda, it's not really risky. Skylar was untouchable, even when he was, poked down, half HP, there was always a photo, there was always another realm to come his way. And that's why he was able to get this angle, to throw that ball, to kick the ball into Fabian's face.
Oh man, Keskut, coaching staff of the season for a reason. He gave the ingredients towards RRQ's player, and they served an immaculate 3 Michelin star dish. RRQ, this is it. It's now or never. There might be a chance number 2 in the lower bracket, but surely you want to claim that Malaysia berth right now, that spot that everyone of Indonesian esports player, Mobile Legends esports player dreamed about. But we're just gonna throw it out to our boys in the panelist desk. Realize, take it away.
The kingdom shall not go down. From the charges and the sieges of the cavalry, they force a fantastic game number 5. What was that game coming in from Team Liquid ID? They are losing it.
Wow, man. There are so many moments there. Like Mirko already highlighted that Fabian really should not be able to do what he was doing in that game, considering the factors, yet he was. And RRQ, dude, the Spear of Alpha mid-air, moments like that was what I was waiting for this match. That is what I was just waiting for so long, dude. It only took them 3 games.
Warm-ups indeed, I think, for both of these teams, but man, this one was really, really tough. I definitely think that, RRQ really are well-oiled at this point. They're warm. Essentially, they are warm, and I think that's unfortunately for them, this Phoveus pick may have costed them a little bit, because when we start seeing in these positions of who exactly do you put this, the Heart Guard on, right? Unfortunately, I feel like TL ID used the Heart Guard a little too generously. I think they should have focused it purely on Aran, if not, just hopefully get it on Fabian when he gets 2 items. It's really tough to say, because I personally believe that Phoveus, at this point, having the flicker isn't really doing too much for him. At this point, if you are going to try and frontline, if you are going to try and push them as far away as possible, you might as well take vengeance in these angles.
It's insane how the Angela Ling was supposed to work out. It did not. It did work out against Bigatron Alpha. It did not work out against the Kings of Kings. And of course, again, the MVP, presented by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. It is the mercenary, Sujin.
Disgusting stuff coming out of him. Looking at his build, actually, rather interesting that he wanted to go for Brute Force Breastplate as on top of having, the Radiant Armor makes a lot of sense here. But most people at this point, once you have those first 2 items, start considering bigger things. Like, do I need to maybe even consider getting some crit reduction with a Bladed Armor, or even maybe even doubling up and getting an early Queen's Wings?
I think he's just playing around the fact that he needs that mobility. He can't really monopolize the guiding wind to help him move around, so the Brutus Breastplate is kind of a great option here. When you can see that when the fights do happen, look at how much ground is covered by both teams, right? Of course, Matilda is there for the side RRQ, but with Fabian, with the glorious pathways, with the Zaman Force, there's just so much mobility being exchanged here for both these teams. That's why this game just looks so interesting, so much more fun to watch. You're actually seeing two teams at a similar composition with similar win conditions just going at it against each other. Unfortunately, I feel like the fact that Skylar was kind of able to get going in the early game is kind of what made this so difficult. Aaron Shiki has been a very core component in the victories of Team Liquid ID, especially in the mid games when he can actually beat down Skylar and actually go aggressive. These past two games on the Harriet, he hasn't really been able to shut down Skylar. And when it comes down to a front to back, even if you're trading in the Netherrealm for the hard guard, man, that Bruno damage is disgusting.
It really is. And I think that at this point, these past two games have definitely shown Aaron that like he can't just bully Skylar anymore. I think that he needs to recognize that he needs to beat him in the team fight itself, not just the lane.
And Skylar was able to survive the lane against the Harris, and the Bruno as well was dealing disgusting damage. But I would also lend my critics towards Aaron Shiki. I don't know, this game is just not it for him. Like, he was overstepping quite a few times in team fights. He was way too overzealous. I feel like that was because of a forceful move coming in from RRQ. But it's just not like Aaron Shiki. Sure, he is well known for being over-aggressive at times, but that just, I don't know, ate him up from the inside.
It really did. It really did. It was so close as well. I mean, these games have been going pretty fast here. We haven't seen like too many of those 20 to 30-minute games anymore. It's been in relative time. 13:46 by the end of that. Rather fast, actually, coming from RRQ, considering what their composition wants to do, right?
Yeah, but honestly, man, if this is how the games are gonna go, both teams duking at it, fights are still happening, not completely one-sided. You're seeing, you know, a steady build-up towards the end like this. I ain't complaining, man. 30 minutes of pure action, so much more entertaining here compared to like, you know, a really safe kind of game. If the results are gonna be the same anyways, right? Man, all the highlights in this game, and it's only about 14 minutes. But look at the neutral objective situation, dude. Jin.
Is that a Twilight armor on top of a... Yeah, it is. Huh. Interesting. Really, really interesting. He knows that he wants to take the damage. He knows he's going to get blasted to the ground. So that's why getting some... Well, I mean, it's not... It's only just... I mean, it's convenient that it's like, oh, if you pass a certain threshold, then it immediately gets mitigated down, which works well against specifically like Bruno, but even against the Alpha through that true damage, the DR definitely helps.
For sure, but the question is like the cooldown, right? I mean, if Jin is able to pop the cooldown on the Twilight armor, then the next crit, we saw it early from Skylar. Of course, it's against a minion, so it's not really a fair comparison. But with two items, he was hitting for 1,300 something. Like, dang, that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
It was hitting like a truck. And of course, the rich guy is still Skylar. The carry is also Skylar, 69k damage as the Bruno. Is the late game Bruno unstoppable?
I don't know about unstoppable, but certainly there needs to be some actions taken towards stopping that Bruno, because if you let him free hit, I don't know, man. He's definitely one of the burstier marksmen. We were talking to Gideon earlier about this, but not a lot of the current marksmen actually go for the crit build. The Moskov, the Natan, they all go for some kind of shred, technically. So those big chunks of damage are a lot different to deal with compared to just the consistent shred from a marksman.
Yeah, I think mainly because it's just not cost efficient. It's good, but it takes so long to get to that point. And Bruno is the only marksman that actually does pretty decent in the early game to accelerate himself to get to that end game as fast as possible. Although I will say, I find it interesting that he decided to take the Wind Talker and instead didn't go straight into like something crazy like a Malefic Gun.
Oh!
Right?
Range.
That would be so fun.
I think that would have been a perfect game to do so as well.
Yeah, because of the layers in Team Liquid ID. Now the question becomes, we pan back to Team Liquid ID, right? They have been in the same position before. Number one is the fact that they lost against RRQ twice in the regular season. Number two, they were able to take the lead against Metron Alpha, and then they were down in the dumps, losing two games in a row, which puts them in a precarious position. 2-2 now. Will this be yet another, mental struggle that they have to face?
Ooh, I can imagine some...
Another reverse sweep.
I can imagine some fans going like, no. They've beat RRQ so convincingly in the first 2 games. Give them, make a show, make it close, and we're gonna end it at game 5. But I mean, honestly, I was expecting this game to be like really, really close. Whichever way it goes, man, I feel like the audience still really gets a healthy dose of high-tier Mobile Legends.
I think at the bare minimum, we need this last game to be an absolute banger. Both sides need to be able to like find leads, and both sides need to continuously be battling against each other. Because because think of it this way, if RRQ ends up beating TLID at this point in time, completing the reverse sweep, then it's gonna make these like new bloods feel like, oh man, the world is against me, I just wanted to win one game. I wanted to build M6. Yeah, they've suddenly become the villains in these scenarios compared to RRQ, who is like they're building up towards the kingdom. And if TLID ends up winning, then no matter what, if this isn't a banger, and if this is very lopsided one way or another, it's just not good for the orbs.
Time now, but of course, we want to throw it back to BCM and Alyssa for an interview.
Oke, hari ini saya Alisa sudah bersama dengan Kak Fari di sini. Boleh dong kita dengar dulu chant-nya atau semangatnya buat tim Liquid Indonesia. Silakan.
Let's go Liquid. Let's go Liquid. Let's go Liquid. Let's go Liquid.
Terasa sekali ya euforia dan semangat pastinya dari Kak Fari di sini sebagai pendukung setia tim Liquid Indonesia. Gimana nih matchnya, menegangkan sekali. Di awal sudah berhasil memimpin dengan 2-0, tiba-tiba disusul oleh RRQ Hoshi, dan gimana kira-kira di game kelima ini, kira-kira tim Liquid Indonesia bisa nggak untuk memenangkan 1 tiket ke M6?
Bisa sih, bisa. Optimis, konsisten, bisa, udah bisa.
Bisa ya, pokoknya optimis bisa ya. Oke, dan pastinya sebagai semangat tambahan untuk Kak Fari ya, ada di sini ya. Kita bakal bagi-bagi hadiah, betul? Ada hadiah apa sih yang diberikan dari tim Liquid Indonesia? Ada merchandise dari tim Liquid Indonesia, yaitu berupa sling bag. Oke, caranya gampang banget, kita bakal lempar pertanyaan ya. Siapa yang bisa jawab langsung aja angkat tangan dan maju ke depan, oke? Siap teman-teman Kak Fari? Oke, siapa yang bisa nyebutin 3 award yang didapatkan belum. 3 award yang didapatkan siapa ya? Oke, 3 award yang didapatkan oleh Fabian. Oke, yang mana? Oke, 3, 2, 1 ya. 3, 2, 1. Siapa ya? Siapa ya? Yang pakai kipas deh. Oke, masnya AA, namanya siapa A? Majuan boleh.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Restu.
Oke, A Restu dari Bandung kah?
Dari Bandung.
Dari Bandung. Oke, sebutin 3 award yang didapatkan oleh Fabian.
1, First Team Jungler. 2, Rookie of the Season.
Oke.
3, MVP of the Season.
Of the Season apa?
Rookie of the Season.
Udah.
MVP of the Season.
MVP
regular season.
Oke, boleh ya kita ngasih hadiahnya dengan A siapa tadi?
Restu.
Oke, A Restu, ini dia akan kita berikan ya sling bag-nya dari tim Liquid Indonesia. Oke, pastinya jangan lupa dukung terus ya tim kesayangan kalian, tim Liquid Indonesia. Dan kita berharap yang terbaik ya pastinya untuk bisa mengamankan tiket ke M6 World Championship. Tapi teman-teman Kak Fari di sini siap gak ke Malaysia kalau misalkan tim kesayangannya masuk ke M6?
Siap, kalau dibiayai.
Siap? Oke, kalau gitu kita mau dengar sekali lagi semangatnya mana? Keseruanku bersama Kak Fari, kita kembalikan lagi ke panelis, silakan.
And of course, the TLID faithful are still out there, even if El Dorado Dome is currently flooded with oranges. Not quite a way to put it.
Oranges.
Oranges.
I mean,
like this.
I don't know, man.
By the way, I want to tell you a little trivia, right? Rashi gained the nickname the Mango because of the suit.
Clearly, right? This isn't meant to pay homage to mangoes. okay?
And of
Orange,
course,
black.
Wait.
There's a theme here.
And on the right side, we have the grape.
Yeah.
Purple.
Do you know what Realize is?
What?
The elegant black, the appetizing red. He's the fruit bowl.
I'm the fruit bowl. So yeah, we are the fruit bowl combo.
Oh, you
we
have a mangosteen actually.
Mangosteen does work, but I don't really know people who eat mangosteen.
What?
Outdated fruit.
Are you Asian?
It's an outdated fruit. I have so many questions.
Do you have any idea how many people you just disrespected right there?
My bad.
Look,
mangosteens?
I don't even like eating mangosteens, but I know a good amount of people who do, and I'm angry on their behalf.
You know what they say: an apple a day keeps the doctors away. But they never say a mangosteen a day keeps the doctor away.
Well, actually, recent science has proven that mangosteens are more healthy than the apple.
Wow. Actually? I thought they were heaty or something like that. Is that a good thing?
Is that the Asian mindset against the Western mindset?
I feel like it is.
Oh, it's good vitamins and antibiotics. It's heaty though.
Well,
we can't do that.
There's one thing that's not healthy.
What is?
That is, of course, the hearts of the fans in the building.
Oh yeah.
Blood pumping into their veins.
Whoa!
What
the heck?
Oh, the team that is going to represent Indonesia in the
Brother.
M Series. Audience voting, it shows that RRQ, 89%. That's a lot. Fnatic Article, they're gone, right? Geek Fam as well, and practically Alter Ego.
Oh man.
Is that?
Yeah, that's 8%. I thought it was
89%.
8% and then 3%. That's crazy.
That's a voting gap.
It really is a voting gap. Well, where are the rest of the fan bases here? How did they get 89%? I wish we had like hard numbers because then at least we'd have like a judgment of size of their demographic.
I'm more curious to see, like, the fan base that initially voted for Fnatic Onyx, for Geek Fam, for Alter Ego. I'm more curious to see where the votes went to after that.
Yeah.
Because like I would think there's some kind of healthy distribution or a rivalry-based distribution. Like, oh hey, Team Liquid beat my team, so I gotta
pass it on.
Yeah, but like, dang, 80. Wow.
It's commitment. I mean, there's a reason why Dorado's filled basically with like half a country here. I mean, all the citizens in the kingdom have come out.
A lot.
No, dude, half the country is outside waiting to come back in when the game starts.
Yeah,
you're right.
If you guys do know, in the MPL festival booth, we do have a watch party going on. So
Oh
those
my
people
God.
Yeah, even more people.
who do not have access to tickets, they can watch it outside, and we can guarantee you that it is a sea of orange colors, donning the RRQ black and oranges. But again, we do see Team Liquid ID, they are still standing strong. They are the ones who likes to defy the odds. The odds are against them. Sure, they like it. And for RRQ now, it's just about cementing again the past glory days of the kingdom. Again, being back to M Series basically. It all comes down to this last game. What are your visions? What are your projections on this last game?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Oh boy.
I think the drafting has definitely evolved between these two teams. They've kind of created their own meta on their own with the way that they want to play, right? It's an expression, it's a skill expression at this point. Less of like who is better.
And again, we go back to the democratic side of MPL. Audience topic voting. How can TLID win in game number 5 and secure a ticket to M6?
Okay, come on. What are the variables here?
And the surveys say that we're still waiting for it to pan out. Drum rolls, please. Okay. Of course, yes, Kel's hero is active at 18%. Deny Alpha Matilda 27%. Reset 3 exclamation marks. Reset 56%. What is it supposed to mean? Reset?
Yeah, Haskill, play an active hero, man. 89%. That something doesn't seem right about this.
Wait a minute, hang on a second. We're seeing the same asset on the main screen.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so it's
It's different. Hang on a second.
That's not the right one. I wasn't crazy.
Oh wait, hang on a second. Oh, we're getting news right now. There's a different audience.
Are you kidding me?
This is the English audience.
Oh my goodness.
And so the Indonesian audience, by the way, just for you guys watching at home, they've voted for reset. So only in the English desk do we see Haskill. Get active, bro.
Get active with your hero.
What is that work rate, man?
But
Get some cardio in.
Let's talk about the reset.
Okay.
What do they need to reset particularly?
The mindset? the mental state, I guess.
I don't know. The thing is, I don't even think they're playing bad. That's the problem.
I don't see what Fabian was doing.
Yeah, like I think generally TLID as of right now, would I say that they're tilted? Not as much as RRQ was earlier today, but I think that they are in a position where now they don't know how to answer RRQ. They're realizing that their hero pools are much deeper than they were before, and they're whipping out with weirder comps. So now RRQ has the second pick selection.
Oh boy.
I mean, they've been doing really, really well on the second pick so far against TLID. I think it's right now the onus is on TLID to answer them.
So it's like a volleyball or a badminton rally, right?
Yeah.
Initially, they've been winning, but once the opposition finds the patterns here, got used to the movements, now the initial aggressor has to find a different way, a different mindset, a different opening or window to exploit. That's the chess match part of Mobile Legends, and that's what we're here for, man.
The opening that they need to use, and I feel like their blue side could have been much more efficient for TLID specifically, because we saw them ban out the chip in the blue side. But then again, if they get blue side, what do they want to prioritize right here, Gideon?
I don't know. There's just too many things that could be a potential problem here. And generally, I think that the fact that they're banning out chip on blue side, it could have been dedicated to something else. And would that have changed the game? It's a little tough to say because both sides played well despite the weaknesses and strengths of their comps.
And of course, you take a look at the crowd outside and inside. It's all full of the kingdoms. They're looking to rebuild again that throne, and of course, the man in your screen. Who is that, Arashi? Educate us.
That is Mr. AP.
AP. You know what it stands for? Anak Pangeran.
Anak Pangeran. That
Which
works too.
means prince, the son of the prince.
I thought you were just gonna call him straight up Mr. RRQ. I feel like that's very apt for what he does.
I guess, yeah. That's essentially what he is anyways.
Yeah.
And he's having a swell time, dude. The atmosphere is great. The matches are, building up to be an exciting finale right here. You can bet that he himself is also feeling the pressure because he has been waiting for this moment as well.
Yeah, let's talk about Fabian here. His performance right here, right? Total games 44. Win rate 68%.
Pretty high.
Total MVPs of 8 MVPs. That's a lot of MVPs. But his most picked hero is, of course, his ever so notorious Nolan with a win rate of 58%. And, of course, the Ling with almost the same win rate, 58% as well.
I think he's definitely been taking some pretty big L's overall. And let's not forget, your regular season is double round robin, so you have to face all the teams twice anyway. So, again, plenty of games to actually go and study upon if you are looking to become just as good as him. But even so, right now, I think it's going to be a make it or break it. I feel like TLID are on the cusp of actually having a mental break, but this is all dependent on the players. Yes, they are young and they understand they have a second life, but this is a high pressure moment for them. Whether they win or if they lose, they're going to have a takeaway.
We can take a look at, Aaron Shiki was having a smile,
Yeah.
1 or 2, so I don't think that mental block will be there. But we will have to take a look at the final drafting phase for tonight. Who will advance to M6? It all starts right here, presented by the official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. The time taken away out of the fray and the Fanny as well.
All right. Interesting situation right here. The Fanny for sure can't be let go. Again, we have highlighted that possibility. The other hero that's notorious, aside from the Nolan and the Ling for Fabian, is that Fanny. And we've seen it again and again, I think early on in his MPL ID career. But for Team Liquid ID, they have made an adaptation. They've banned away the Alpha right here.
Alpha?
Do they think they want to go for the same situation? Same tanky frontline like Vidi was using, but now without the true damage from the Alpha, it's going to be a bit more difficult.
This is interesting. This is why? They could have just gone for another. Well, whatever. They'll just go for. They'll just. I mean, at this point, like, what can I really say about it, right? They just don't want to play against Chip, sure, but you don't want to pick it up for yourself. Okay, fine, right? At this point, now the question is whether or not you want to let go of Suyo.
Yeah.
No way, come on.
I think they're going to ban Suyo and they will pick up the Matilda because the Suyo in the hands of Fabian is indeed a menace. But if they do let go of the Suyo, is that going to inherently become the death sentence for RRQ?
It could possibly mean that. I think that RRQ need to recognize that Matilda, as good as she is, isn't game-breaking compared to Suyo. And I think there's a lot more scenarios whereby I would rather be upset that Matilda clutch save somebody compared to getting one shot by Suyo, never getting any neutral to objectives as well, getting no lords, no turtles for the rest of the game.
Yeah, the ban up to Suyo, and this might warrant a Matilda pick right over to Team Liquid ID.
Earlier we saw the Phobia's first pick, which I think a lot of us felt was kind of questionable, right? It really isn't all that game-changing, game-breaking. Maybe they really want to try and make sure that that EXP lane, they get Diamond under control, because on that barrage earlier, man, was it different. But with the Matilda already secured, now RRQ, what is the answer against all this mobility without the alpha, right?
They could try and look to spearhead. I don't know if RRQ is going to try and go for another Fire Mist type dive composition again, or whether or not they're just going to make a full straight up dive comp, right? Just to make sure if Matilda is going to try and peel people away and pull them away from the fight, we'll just chase you twice as fast.
Purple combo right there, Eve and Phobius. One to poke, one to dive, the Bane.
Beautiful.
Right away as the response.
Good response.
And still, the Harith very, very early on. Wow. I would think that Aaron Shiki would have a lot of different tricks up his sleeve. This is Aaron Shiki after all, right? But we haven't seen anything but the Harith for the past 3 games now. They do have the Bane, but at the same time, it's still a front to back. It's a kiting kind of composition against the Yve. The outrange, RRQ outranged Team Liquid by quite a bit.
They do. And by the way, Jushin not picked up in any of these first 3 picks at all. I think they've kind of strayed away from it. And now we see Hayabusa get locked in for the side of RRQ. Very smart of them to leave it as their 3rd pick, because now they can start clamping down on anything that wants to hamper Hayabusa, if not hamper anything in the gold lane.
Sutsujin Hayabusa, your thoughts on this, Arash?
We saw that Hazel actually from RRQ was able to actually perform immensely on this Hayabusa, get those solo kills, even though people were clumping up together. It was one of the more notorious picks after the patch, after the change to the animation of the Ogi shadow kill. Now as you can see, it's going to be a ban to the Hilda, but also not a Franco I see from Team Liquid ID.
Could be, yeah. They banned it out pretty early on. They just don't want people to displace them, move them out of position, and then lock them down when necessary.
Especially with the wheel manipulation to seal the deal. You can't save your friend when he's in the middle. That chessboard, dude.
Chessboard.
Is it not a chessboard?
It is.
I thought it was kind of was. And now with all this I thought it was kind of was, and now with all this aggression, they banned away the pyramids as well. So they have a window.
A Kaja ban right there? Is that a Kaja ban?
Yeah.
Why? Isn't it a wasteful ban, I would say?
I mean, it works well with Hayabusa if you want to look for those early level 4 kills.
I think the idea is to make sure that anyone can get away with a guiding win without getting suppressed and being denied that exit path from the Matilda. Still, the 2 bans for Edok right here, definitely quite costly.
Yeah.
Front 2 back composition. Will the Edith show up here?
Edith is
fast initiations as well as a good damage output in the late game could be an option.
Yeah.
Oh,
Khalid to get that mid prio going, especially with the Yve now. So for TLID, I think they want to pick up the Edith right here, no? To really peel for the Phobius and maybe pick up a strong mid laner?
I don't know. I think right now it's looking really, really rough for TLID. I think this Harith second pick may have just costed them. They already saw the Phobius. They're playing it into the Yve as well, and I think it's pretty straightforward for RRQ from this point onwards.
It's gonna be the Bruno again?
I think it doesn't really matter. If he wants to play Bruno, I think it's totally fine. I think there's even an argument for Claude as well as Irithel as well. But either way, it's looking, I'm not gonna lie, it's looking pretty grim. Ooh, Aurora. Okay.
Interesting.
Talk to me about this pick.
It's good. It kind of guarantees a hit on the Frigid Glacier, on the Phobius and Khalid due to the all-in nature. And even if Edok lands a massive Raging Sandstorm, if you pop out the Frigid Glacier before, then the rest of the team can't really
There we go!
No way!
There
kept
we
it a
go.
secret. They kept it a secret the whole time.
Skylar, Lunox?
I haven't seen him play it, but Lunox has been the go-to counter against the Harith. Yeah. Tries to all-in you, you just go invincible. Use your iframes, burst them down.
And now, the front-to-back composition, all this denial of dice from Team Liquid ID are kind of negated. The Hayabusa can go in deep all the way. The Lunox can go in there as well.
Yeah, the Lunox will have that weapon, that mission to just topple down the Harith. One last predictions, quick one, Arashi, Gideon.
I gotta vote for RRQ.
I gotta
My
go
boys.
RRQ on this one as well. They're looking pretty good.
My boys.
RRQ voices from up there as we get ready to throw it away in a final brawl to M6. Mirko, Gani, Sheffin, take it away.
It all comes down to this game, to this very game. The first ticket to M6. The blood, the sweat, the tears. What happened in the regular season? It all led to this. RRQ versus TLID.
One more round, one more game. It's time. Let's see what both teams will bring to the table. Let's go.
An absolute banger of a final match, of a final game is what they're going to bring to the table here. TLID with the Aurora. It was expected in the draft earlier with us here, but Skylar on the Lunox, that is something we did not expect. That is something out of the ordinary. Skylar, very known for just playing for the marksman, not really known to go for the mage. Witty.
Oh, let's see here. It's going to be first blood for Sutsujin. Fabian isolated, and we can say goodnight. My goodness, Eldorado. They're going crazy here first minute.
Home turf.
Home turf everywhere for RRQ fans, but now Sutsujin, it's gonna be level 4. Gotta watch out, Aaron Chicken.
Aaron Chicken, watch out, connects shadow kill as well. And we can say Sutsujin, 3 kills, 1 minute in.
Might as well go for the Sky Piercer right now.
Go for it. Go first item, Sky Piercer. You have 3 kills to your name. You better snowball with that. We were talking about this pick, right? The Hayabusa against the Harith against the Bane is the only possible pick they should have gone for. And it's working so much right now. Harith, I think Aaron Shiki timed the flicker a bit off, and at that point, with the new quad shadow, or sorry, the new shadow kill, it is very hard to time. It's technically luck again.
Machado finds the connection, but Fabian actually finds the kill! Sutsujin, stop this guy! Now Witty and Yehezkiel will try to tag team on towards Sutsujin, but with the flicker, TLID concedes that fight.
The ninja is skipping the snowball, courtesy of Tyrant and Rince's cover there. Now RRQ, not even 2 minutes, already 2 minutes elapsed, already 1.6k gold lead. This is just not looking good for TLID.
The snowball is real. Let's see here, will they keep their momentum? RRQ controlling the turtle. Tyrant, oh my goodness, RWM zoning away Aran, and with the vengeance, he is alive. With the freeze, the Frigid Glacier connects onto her Tyrant, and that will be the first neutral objective taken care of by RRQ.
Oh, I still remember Fabian on Hayabusa destroying Vincent's Bane, and now he's got to play the Bane. He's on the other side of the court, and look at this Edok, man. This Khalid roam, this is the advantage, Mirko.
It really is, man. The mobility difference is definitely seen here. Even though, you have the Mathilda, Edok, he doesn't need the guiding win. He doesn't need to pop an ability to actually be mobile and against Sutsujin.
See here, that's the guiding win. Sutsujin, though, will not land the shadow kill. That's the circling eagle actually connecting to Edok. Edok punished, and that will be RRQ trying to look to stabilize.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a clean Hayabusa combo coming from Sutsujin, but the health bars, they're healthy.
The circling eagle. It was a circling eagle. While he was a circling eagle, somehow the shadow kill was cancelled out. So that's an interaction now that he knows is possible. He needs to be very, very careful because there's a lot of mobility on the side of TLID.
Oh, what? Whoa! Aggressive RWM there to perhaps trigger some spells. But it seems like TLID handled themselves well here. Circling eagle again. Gather info, and RRQ, they move onwards to the bottom lane. Top lane, Tyrant 2v1, double team. Infernal Pursuit, will he survive? That's the question. Law and Order spent. Fabian should be the main target, but it's just to buy time. Tyrant falls. Regardless, structure actually taken care of there. RRQ, first building to be taken down.
That is not a fair trade, Mirko.
Definitely not, man. RRQ definitely getting the advantage there with the trade, getting a turret down below, and also with Skylar. He's going to scale up to be a monster in the mid-game. If he actually gets those item power spikes against TLID before TLID even hit their power spikes, the Lunox will for sure just delete the team together with the Hayabusa that is snowballing. And yep, as expected, man, that's the SP, the Sky Piercer they're going for.
Raging Sandstorm will dodge the Frigid Glacier. TLID still catching strays here. No compensation whatsoever after the loss in that first 2 minutes. It's equal on the kills, but the gold lead, the economy is definitely not equal. And now TLID, if they actually can take this objective, that might change things for the better. Clean go on towards Rinse, finds a connection, empty catch early! Killing spree for Fabian, but Fabian now isolated, taken care of. No! Skylar will look for elsewhere. The turtle finds Sitsujin, but oh my god, will not find life. RRQ 2K gold lead. Now he's actually a Sitsujin right now on a ninja. He's going in and out with the shurikens.
That's one. That's one Sky Piercer stack for Sitsujin. You gotta keep count, man, because that is going to be a very, very big factor as to how RRQ win or lose the game. If he loses the stacks later on and the big shutdown goes over to TLID, that might swing the favor back. But if it doesn't and he keeps on going with this crazy Sky Piercer build, oh man, he probably will just one-shot everybody by the end of the game, right? Or not the end of the game, but in the mid-game. Here on Shiki, so far behind, 1,500.
Crazy.
He took the entire turret ball down below.
On a Lunox.
On the Lunox. Marksman. Well, it's Skylar, so he plays anything like a marksman, right? Oh man, 1,500 gold in the winning matchup already. Now, you saw the damage. They got a lot of big stuns. TLID played it well in the turtle fight, but not well enough to beat that gold lead. That is a ridiculous amount to have on the Lunox against this composition. He can do the Ruby DD combo once in the back and he'll lose, well, he'll probably kill one, and you'll get all the others at half. And by that time, Mr. Sitsujin, man, can come in and get the Sky Piercer stacks.
Oh man, RRQ is not stopping. Look at Dyron and Edog is just scouting the situation out there. And this also serves the purpose of scouting for the ninja to actually go in. He's just finding the opportunity for Sitsujin. Oh my goodness, that's a horse! Now they lack catchability here, and Sitsujin is just roaming really. Land of Dawn, oh, more like Sitsujin's playground. Brute Force Breastplate on a Bane.
He has to rush it. Yeah, I think he went War Axe into the Brute Force Breastplate. Yeah, he did. He has to go for a bit more defense. He knows exactly what the situation looks like here. RRQ definitely are overwhelming them with a lot of physical damage, mainly from Mr. Sitsujin on the Sky Piercer. Certainly Eagle, Squiddy,
Box resources is secured. RRQ. It seems like they are aiming for that perfect turtle around half HP. That's gonna be the Gorge pathway pop. Skyler looking for an angle, but it seems like now Fabian zoned out. Girl WM will not let any members of TLID in. Now Darren looking for the kills. RRQ, they're on a manhunt, and Aaron Shiki survives with that flicker. But 3 members has to pay the price. Sitsujin, how many stacks do you want? RRQ, how many bodies do you want? They killed 3 in this mid-game, and now they're up 6K in 7.5 minutes.
They want everything and anyone, is what they're saying right now. RRQ Hoshi just taking everything under their control. Bottom lane tier 2, Turtle all 3 with an assassin. All the kills into Sitsujin, 6-0-2. 2 stacks now on the Sky Piercer. Count that up.
I think it's more than 2 right now, Mirko, but yeah.
2. He got it at 4 kills.
Oh my goodness, what's gonna be the answer here for TLID? Now thankfully it's a Bane, so it serves as a, you know, a bit more high ground potential, but with Harrod it's not looking great either, it's not on a ton. So a comeback is definitely a bit far out of reach for TLID, but right now all hope is not lost just yet for this young bloods. Is Edog gonna get engaged on? No.
It's a very difficult game, as you put it, Sheffin. It's going to be very difficult for TLID to actually look for a comeback moment, because RRQ, the way they can play this is they can constantly just engage, disengage, engage, disengage. They have so much CC, they have a lot of mobility, and they have a Hayabusa who's 6-0-2. He can decide whether to go in, assassinate people, and go out. That's the beauty of the Hayabusa. If you get him with a lead like this, if you catch a Hayabusa with a lead like this, you have to play it perfectly, and you also have to wait for RRQ to make a mistake. You need Sitsujin to make a mistake here. At this point of the game, 9 minutes. This man is, I don't know what to, he's a Hokage on the name. He's not just a normal ninja, man. He's not a normal shinobi.
I mean, let's talk about late game, right? I mean, does TLID have a chance for a comeback?
wouldn't say it's 0% here in the playoffs, you know, but it is probably 1%. They have to play it perfectly, and not only do they have to play it perfectly, they have to hope that RRQ make a big mistake. It's an 8,000 gold lead at 9 minutes with a Sky Piercer on Haya, and everybody has a gold lead, and it's Lunox against Harith.
Uh-oh.
BOD!
Uh-oh.
Okay, now he's definitely a Hokage.
Oh, the weapon of the hidden lead here from RRQ, and look at the levels, man. It was 4 level difference just now from Fabian and also Sutsujin. Maybe Sutsujin is trying to prove something here. Bro, I should have been the one who's getting the MVP. I should have been the one who's on the first team of MPL. And Skylar, he's going glass cannon. All damage, no defense whatsoever.
Why wouldn't you? When you're 9,000 gold ahead, when you can do whatever you want and just dive in, why wouldn't you go for this build? Lightning Truncheon, Holy Crystal, 3-item power spikes already for both Haya and Harith, Sutsujin and Skylar, and they dealt with the holy defense already. They're playing the waves really, really well. Now another wave with a slow push up top 2. It'll be 2 waves crashing down with Lord and then another. Try to go for the siege.
All spells are active as well as the ultimates. Base turret, let's see. Revitalize pop early. Mid turret will fall, I believe. Deadly catch will do some sort of damage. But Skylar jumps in with the brilliance as well with the flicker. TL ID still holding on. RWM punching bodies. RRQ, they're looking for more. Edok does not survive as Fabian. It's gonna be the trade Aaron. Cheeky crash down, jumped on. RRQ, is this the play? Will they make the reverse sweep? My goodness, it's only ESKL. I don't think it's possible. Everyone on RRQ is gonna bounce. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all over. RRQ against all odds. Down 0-2, and now it's a reverse sweep. M6 secured. Grand Finals. MPL ID Season 14 secured. 5 years since M won the first time. RRQ went to Malaysia, and now they are back again. They are here to prove the doubters wrong. It is official, 100%, no doubt at all. The rebuild is done. Man, oh man. What a journey so far. From these young bloods, the rookies, and also the additions that Paape bring to the table for the King of Kings to strengthen the fortress, to strengthen this kingdom. And look at the euphoria, the elation that the fans of RRQ and RRQ organization is showing right now. It is just a sight to see, a sight to behold for Indonesian MLBB fans.
The first team to be knocked out of Season 13. The team that failed in Season 12. With the man you see on your screen, never leaving the team. The rebuild is certainly complete. One more step. You made it to M6, but why not go all the way? The way they did it too, the way that they made it to M6. It wasn't a clean sweep. It wasn't a stomp. As dramatic as ever, a 3-2 reverse sweep up against a Liquid that looked invincible. A Liquid that looked like they had M6 within their grasp. 2-0 lead, it meant nothing to RRQ Hoshi. They played every game without tilt. They played every game with all their heart. And to Team Liquid, it was a phenomenal performance. They won't be able to make it to M6 just yet. There's still another chance for them. They will be dropped down to the lower bracket finals against Bigatron Alpha, and then we will see who will be the second team to make it to M6 and the grand finals. Where you can see how much this moment means to everybody who's an RRQ fan, the CEO, the ex-coach, BL of Season 9, the Kingdom from everywhere around the world, who's now in Bandung, will witness RRQ Hoshi make it to the M6 stage. 5 years from their first M Series appearance.
Tears of joy
from the fans of RRQ. And what a performance they brought to the table in game number 5. It was not close. The whole RRQ team, they move in unison. They know what's the stake. They know what they're fighting for. And they got it in the end. A hard-fought season paid off. What can you say? You couldn't have written a better script than this. RRQ, against all the doubts, against all the questions. Look at that, Skylar. Over the few last seasons, he was there all alone. He was the sole royal guard of the kingdom. And now, they all went there. They all went to Malaysia. Tanya, RRQ Hoshi.
RRQ berhasil mendapatkan tempatnya kembali di panggung internasional. Sempat mereka absen 1 musim, tapi kali ini inilah dia dunia. Persiapkan diri kalian karena RRQ Hoshi akan ke M6.
Dan inilah dia raja dari segala raja yang mengamankan 1 tiket pertama untuk ke M6 World Championship.
Kemenangan hari ini pastinya terlihat tidak mudah. Karena kalian ngedapetin ini dengan usaha keras, dedikasi, semua yang kalian dapatkan. Mendapatkan tiket pertama, kita ingin mendengarkan mungkin kata-katanya dulu dong dari tim RRQ. Setelah 1 tiket sudah kalian secure.
Silakan.
Ya mungkin kata-kata ya alhamdulillah lah lolos M6 ya. Gue ada dari terakhir season 10 kalau nggak salah M4. Nah terakhir gue bermain di situ dan gue kangen bermain di internasional lagi sih.
Motivasi terbesar dari tim RRQ sendiri di season ini. Kalau boleh dikasih tahu apa sih motivasi terbesar dari tim RRQ?
Motivasi dari kita ya karena kemarin kita lihat Sena kan juara kan. Ya jadi kita termotivasi dari mereka aja sih.
Terpicu ya, ingin juga juara. Di MDL udah juara, MPL pun ingin juga.
Bismillah.
Bismillah, 1 step lagi.
Ya.
Betul sekali dan mungkin aku pengen tanya-tanya juga ke Idok nih. Idok aku mau tanya kalau tadi sempat di 2 game awal itu poin jatuh kepada tim Liquid. Apakah itu berpengaruh dari penggunaan show yang digunakan oleh Widi?
Ya berpengaruh sih makanya kami respect.
Oke. Jadi apakah itu kunci kemenangan kalian di 3 game terakhir ini?
Iya kayaknya.
Wow, tapi nggak mungkin dong cuma 1 dong. Ada nggak sih mungkin yang bisa kalian share gimana perjalanan kalian di upper bracket final ini hingga sampai pada akhirnya kalian nge-reverse sweep. Ketinggalan 2 poin, nggak masalah nih.
Ya mungkin ya kami masih tetap main kayak biasa aja sih. Ya masih tetap percaya kawan, nggak usah mikirin yang aneh-aneh lah.
Fokus, percaya
ya.
teman. Kalau di Ren nih, kayaknya tadi langsung lompat. Wow, lompatannya sampai mengguncangkan panggung MPL Arena. Kebahagiaanmu sendiri. Boleh dong diungkapin di sini di Ren. Daren semuanya pengen dengerin nih.
Ya alhamdulillah sih Bude, ini penantian aku juga kan. Karena kan ya bisa dilihat history dari season 12. Terus turun MDL kan. Nah ya udah, jadi di season 14 ini aku dikasih kepercayaan, jadi aku pengen buktiin aja sih.
Dan hasilnya ternyata begitu baik. Tentu kita semua bisa melihat kerja keras yang dilakukan oleh Daren di season ini, Daren. Kita pengen tahu bagaimana kamu berusaha keras untuk mendapatkan dan membuktikan diri di sini. Ngapain aja, Le?
Ya tetap improve sama percaya limit diri sendiri, terus kan dibantu juga sama tim, coaching staff gitu. Ya mereka juga lah yang ngebantu aku.
Membantu mereka sampai titik ini. Ini bukan titik yang mudah pastinya, Lisa.
Betul sekali Bude, pastinya dukungan dan support dari coaching staff dan juga pastinya dari para Kingdom. Mana suaranya? Luar biasa sekali menggelora di Eldorado Bandung. Tapi aku juga mau tanya sama Sujin. Ini adalah panggung playoff pertama kamu, langsung masuk ke grand final upper bracket dan sekarang sudah berhasil mengamalkan 1 tiket ke M6. Bagaimana perasaannya?
Senang. Senang.
Sedang?
Ya. Senang.
Dengan lantang ya pastinya. Tapi mungkin ada gak sih gimana akhirnya bisa masuk ke dalam grand final ini?
Ya paling perasaannya cuma lega aja sih. Soalnya kan nanti ada match lagi.
Oh, oke, lega ya. Nanti ada match lagi. Tapi kayaknya dari tadi suara-suara Kingdom pada ketawain apa ya Bunda
Ada
ya?
apa sih?
Ada apa ya? Boleh lihat?
Buset. Ini abangnya suka ngokop mic. Abang Cip, ada R7, kasih tepuk tangan dong. Abang-abangan dari tim RRQ dan yang biasanya juga mewakili RRQ yang berjuang kali ini sebagai support system. Halo R7. Halo Bude katanya, gitu ya. Suaranya di sini kita belum bisa mendengarkan, tolong ya. Dan dilihat banyak
Halo, Bude.
sekali.
Halo.
Nah, R7, RRQ punya tiket M6 nih. Ada yang mau kamu sampaikan dulu gak sih?
Ya, terutama selamat buat anak-anak bisa lolos ke M6 ya. Gue cuma mau nyampein, tolong balaskan dendam para abang-abangnya yang dulu.
Langsung delegasi nih.
Delegasi ya. Tapi nih R7, menurut kamu ada perbedaan gak sih gimana antara RRQ di zaman R7 yang masih aktif dan juga RRQ yang sekarang pastinya?
Kalau di zamanku dulu itu tidak semua orang berpikir cepat seperti sekarang sih. Kayak anak-anak muda yang zaman sekarang itu kayak mereka itu bisa lebih berpikir dua kali lebih cepat gitu dibandingkan dulu. Jadi ya sangat kagum gitu ngelihatnya gitu.
Pastinya kagum sekali ya dengan perkembangan dan pastinya hari ini kita bisa melihat 1 tiket sudah diamankan. Tapi setelah ditinggal yang terakhir bermain di season 10, RRQ sempat struggle juga di season 11 hingga season 13 hingga tidak pernah masuk ke grand final dan kini kembali ke grand final MPL Indonesia. Gimana nih, mungkin ada gak sih perasaan atau semangat yang pastinya mau disampaikan untuk bisa berangkat ke M6 nantinya?
Ya perjalanan panjang lah, pokoknya tetap percaya satu sama lain, jangan pernah kayak egois di dalam tim. Pokoknya chemistry harus lebih dikuatin juga, saling mendengarkan. Ya itu sih, gue yakin bisa lah.
Yakin bisa ya, karena ngeliat proses dari tim RRQ di season ini beda kayaknya ya R7 ya.
Jauh banget.
Wih, mungkin ada yang mau di point out gak sih dari para player yang lagi nonton kamu juga nih. Layar di sini gede banget, isinya wajahmu R7. Para player lagi ngelihat kamu dan mendengarmu nih.
Kangen kayaknya. Apa-apa, gimana tadi?
Ada yang mungkin ingin di point out, ada yang kepengen kamu sampaikan kepada para playernya langsung secara individu. Karena ini lagi pada dengerin kamu langsung nih. Ada yang ingin pujian yang ingin kamu berikan?
Paling ke Skylar aja sih. Ya semangat Ler. Karena lu adalah anak yang paling lama di RRQ ya. Gue percaya sama lu bisa ngebimbing anak-anak baru untuk lebih berpikir dewasa dan play as a team sih.
Semangat aja nih R7, apakah dulu kalau nggak salah ada janji yang disampaikan kepada Skylar kalau Skylar bisa menjadi juara nih. Gimana nih janjinya soal ini kita tagih sekarang?
Janji itu nggak harus dengan kayak main bareng, janji itu bisa dengan cara ngedukung juga gitu, nyemangatin mereka juga. Dan ntar mungkin M6 insya Allah gue bakal datang ngedukung mereka.
Asik, akan langsung datang. Namun R7, di Indonesia sendiri kita lagi tahu Indonesia sedang tidak baik-baik saja di kancah internasional di belakangan ini. Lagi agak sedikit tertinggal nih. Menurutmu sendiri bagaimana sih cara kita mengejar? Apakah sekarang sudah saatnya kita melampaui region-region lain R7?
Kalau untuk Indonesia itu cuma satu sih yang pengen gue bilang, jangan terlalu monoton sih. Karena orang-orang luar itu belajarnya itu mereka pasti ngelihat dari data-data kan. Kalau bisa perbanyak lagi strateginya sih. Itu aja sih.
Lembar banyak strategi dan semua yang di sini tentu saja ingin mendengarkan sesuatu yang spesial untuk penonton MPL, untuk Kingdom, untuk RRQ, untuk semuanya. Kalau ada yang mau R7 sampaikan sekarang R7. Mumpung di Bandung juga nih.
Wah, Bandung baru dakwel ya. Thank you banget ya buat yang udah datang ke Bandung dukung RRQ, terutama untuk RRQ Kingdom juga selalu ngedukung. Walaupun posisinya mau di atas atau mau di bawah, kalian selalu kompak banget sih, keren banget, gila.
Thank you banget R7, hatur nuhun AA. R7.
Hatur nuhun pisan, karabe.
Wow, itulah dia karena Kingdom dari seluruh penjuru dunia sedang berpesta. Bersiap-siap beli tiket ke Malaysia untuk M6 nanti dengan hadirnya RRQ yang akan bertarung di M6 nanti. Dan untuk RRQ sendiri, ngeliat abang-abangan kalian di sini, semuanya lagi ngedukung kalian. Mungkin kalian mau ngerespon?
Silakan mungkin dari Rins, kita mau dengarkan.
Dari Skylar dulu.
Dari
mungkin.
Skylar dulu.
Tadi katanya janjinya ke Skylar kan?
Tuh, sekali
Ngomong
Bude.
atuh gak bakal digigit, Ler.
Gimana ya, janji pun gak ditepatin kan gak enak.
Langsung ditagih di tempat.
Ya makasih juga lah ya, terutama juga ya buat Gendut juga ya. Di saat gua ngedown dia selalu nge-support gua juga lah. Dia selalu ngasih tahu kekurangan gua di mana. Makanya gua selalu nge-WA dia gimana nih Dut gini. Ya. Dan juga buat Bang Sin, VYN, Deden, ya teman-teman lama gue lah ya mereka selalu dampingin gue ya sampai gue saat ini ya mungkin ya di sini bisa ada R7, Vin, Deden dan Albert dan tersisa gue sendirian. Dan gue yakin mereka ini bisa lah kayak penerus yang season 9 kemarin.
Wow, delegasi yang dilanjutkan dengan sangat apik dan baik dengan RRQ Hoshi, pilar yang baru, fondasi yang baru. Thank you banget R7 sekali lagi dan ditunggu janjinya ya.
Gak bakal
Siap.
gitu.
Siap. Dan di sini Rins, hari ini kemenangan yang begitu didambakan oleh tim RRQ. Rins sendiri, bagaimana kamu membuat dirimu terus bisa berperform, tetap tenang di panggung yang baru kamu jajaki ini?
Mungkin punya mindset jadi diri sendiri aja sih. Kayak tadi kita kalah 2-0, gak usah berpikir kita bakal kalah. Kita ngasih yang terbaik aja di game terusnya gitu.
Rin, seberapa intens final upper bracket ini? 1 sampai 10 seberapa ketat?
9,5 lah.
9,5. Namun Bunda penasaran, apa sih yang kalian miliki di final upper bracket ini sehingga kalian bisa ngedapetin slot grand final dan juga tiket M6 pertama?
Gua kagum sih mereka ya player-player baru juga dan yang terlama mungkin Susujin lah. Tapi mereka tuh kayak mentality mereka tuh adalah di saat kita kalah 2-0 tuh ya di mana ya kita langsung ngedown, ngeblank gitu-gitu. Tapi mereka tetap strong lah dengan hal itu. Udah bisa ngelawan mental itu sih sebenarnya.
Oke.
Wow, mental.
Mental ya Bude. Tapi ngomongin soal grand final yang akan kalian hadapin, kira-kira siapa tim yang akan berhadapan dengan kalian?
Kayaknya
siapa
Liquid sih. Gak tau sih kayaknya, coba tanya.
Rembukan dulu gak apa-apa kok rembukan.
Boleh kita kasih
Ya.
waktu, silakan.
Siapa aja sih ya, tapi ya mungkin kalau dari gue Liquid.
Bakal ada rematch. Yang lainnya ada yang punya pendapat berbeda?
Ya Liquid mungkin deh.
Mungkin.
Liquid.
Skylar, makasih loh Skylar. Di todong Skylar langsung pada jawab. Tiga yang di pojok sana, Rins dan Sutsujin.
Liquid.
Tuh, rematch dengan Fabian lagi tuh.
Liquid juga.
Liquid 5-5-nya. Akankah dijawab lagi? Mungkin ada pesan untuk semua yang bertanding di lower bracket. Karena besok kalian akan libur nih. Kalian bisa menonton lower bracket final dan menantikan yang akan melawan kalian. Ada yang mau disampaikan untuk terakhir?
Pesan buat terakhir ya, semangatlah kedua tim yang bertanding di lower bracket final, BTR dan Liquid, semoga kasih yang terbaik lah dan bisa kita ya kalau bisa dapat satu tim lagi kan kita bisa mewakili Indonesia juga.
Wow, satu slot terakhir untuk perwakilan Indonesia dan semangat dari para Kingdom yang sudah hadir di Eldorado Dome Bandung yang ada di online yang kali nobar-nobar banyak banget. Bude udah lihat dan semuanya terharu. Mungkin ada lagi yang mau disampaikan. Tiket pertama sudah kalian dapatkan, support sudah ada untuk support sistem kalian. Untuk support sistem.
Support system ya buat Kingdom, terima kasih udah dukung kita sampai sekarang. Buat Pak AP juga kan udah datang, terus buat pacar juga udah datang jauh dari Medan kan Bude. Ya terima kasih buat semua yang udah dukung kita step by step lah. Semoga kita bisa kasih yang terbaik. Amin.
Amin.
Apakah ada lagi pesan?
Mungkin buat ini MDL Sena, terima kasih udah datang jauh-jauh dari Jakarta buat support kita. Thank you.
Thank you semua yang udah nge-support dari jajaran keluarga RRQ. Dan tentu saya support dari seluruh super fans dari Kingdom yang ada dimanapun. Terima kasih sekali lagi dan kita masih harus menggiring, menantikan bagaimana performa mereka di Grand Final dan juga M6.
Betul sekali, kita akan menantikan bagaimana performa mereka dan Kingdom pastikan juga untuk datang dan mendukung tim kesayangan kalian nantinya di Grand Final. Kita harapkan yang terbaik untuk RRQ. Sekali lagi kita mau dengar Kingdom, mana suaranya?
Kemenangan yang mendebarkan akan langsung di breakdown oleh para panelis. Jadi langsung saja kita lempar kepada panelis. Mangga.